city drips gold on the edge of the river tonight. Black cars sliding slowly through the rain like ghosts. I still remember how your fingers curled around my wrist. Like you already know I would ruin myself for you someday. You walked into the room like a quiet disaster. Velvet dress, tired eyes, lipstick fading at the corners. Everybody looked at you, but you only looked at me. Like we shared some dangerous little secret before we even spoke. The music was loud, but your silence was louder. A slow kind of loneliness wrapped inside expensive perfume. I asked if you wanted another drink. You smiled like heartbreak already had my name on it. And suddenly we were outside, cold so wind against our faces. Your heels echoing against the pavement, the hand river glowing beside us. Like the city was trying to watch us fall apart in real time. You said you hated people who only love the night. I laughed because that's all I've ever known. Late conversations, hotel elevators, champagne kisses that disappear by sunrise. I built my whole life around temporary feelings, but you looked permanent and that terrified me. So I kissed you harder, like maybe desire could distract us from honesty. Like maybe skin could replace trust. Like maybe two broken people could still make something holy. We drove nowhere for hours, windows fogged from our breathing. Old American soul songs playing softly through the speakers. Your head against the glass, watching neon reflections melt into the water. You told me you wanted to leave everything behind. The pressure, the fake smiles, the exhausting need to always be beautiful. I told you I understood, even though I still chase attention like it's oxygen. There's something cool about fame, even the smallest kind. People fall in love with the version of you that hurts the least to consume. But with you, I felt terrifyingly visible. Every scar, every selfish decision, every drunk 3 a.m. confession, every person I abandoned because commitment felt too heavy. You somehow saw all of it and stayed close enough to touch my face anyway. Your lipstick stained the collar of my black shirt like evidence from a crime scene. I still haven't washed it because losing the stain feels too much like losing you. At the convenience store near the river, we bought instant ramen and cheap ice cream. You laughed at how serious I looked while pouring hot water, and for a second everything felt painfully normal. No flashing lights, no fake confidence, no performance. Just two exhausted people trying to warm themselves against the cold. You fell asleep in my apartment around sunrise. City light spilling across your shoulders, your hair covering half your face. I watched you breathe for almost an hour, afraid that touching you might wake you, afraid that not touching you might make you disappear. I think that's what love really is. Not fireworks, not obsession, not cinematic destruction. Just fear, quiet, unbearable fear that someone this beautiful could leave at any second. By afternoon you were distant again, standing near the window, scrolling endlessly through your phone. Already halfway gone emotionally, even while your body remained beside me. I wanted to ask you to stay, Moving buses, crossing bridges, couples taking photos, office workers rushing toward another exhausting evening. Meanwhile, I was standing there, trying to memorize the exact shape of your sadness. Because deep down, I already knew this would end badly. People like us are beautiful for short periods of time, like fireworks over the river, bright enough to make strangers stop and stare, but never built to last too. If you call me tonight, I go running through every red light in Seoul, just to hear your voice say my name one more time. Even if it destroys me slowly, even if I wake up empty every morning, even if your love feels more like a drug than salvation, I still choose you. Every single time. City lights are bleeding through the glass tonight. I see your face in every passing taxi light. Gangnam Rain on my black coat, American dreams and a soul-born ghost. You said, don't call me when the night gets slow, but my hands still move where they used to go. One more drink, any day one more lie till the feeling's gone. I don't know if it's love or the neon, I don't know if I'm lost or alive. Every kiss had a price I agreed on, every touch kept me close to the fire. So meet me in the afterglow, where nobody has to know. We can dance like we're innocent, under lights we can't control. So afterglow, with an LA heart of gold. You were sweet like soju on my lips, but you burned me slow. Yeah, your perfume stayed on my favorite shirt, white cotton, red wine, little beautiful her. You laughed like a song from another coast. I loved you most when you came too close. We were midnight kids with expensive taste, cheap motel signs in a holy place. You wore my jacket like a movie scene, half Korean winter, half Hollywood dream. I don't know if it's love or the rhythm, I don't know if I'm yours or alone. Every secret we kept in the distance still follows me all the way home. So meet me in the afterglow, when nobody has to know. We can dance like we're innocent, under lights we can't control. So afterglow, with an LA heart of gold. You were sweet like soju on my lips, but you burned me slow. Tell me it was real for a second, tell me I was more than the night. Tell me every broken confession looked beautiful under the light. If this is the last time, baby, let the skyline watch us fall. If we're only ghosts by morning, let me be yours after all. Meet me in the afterglow, when nobody has to know. We can love like we're innocent, even if we lose control. So afterglow, with an LA heart of gold. You were sweet like soju on my lips, but you burned me slow. Taxi lights, cold air, your voice still everywhere. So afterglow, I should let you go, but I don't. The station felt colder than usual tonight, Empty subway platforms glowing beneath fluorescent lights. Last train announcements echoing softly through the silence. People standing far apart, pretending exhaustion was normal. You arrived wearing all black again, long coat moving gently in the underground wind. Silver rings against pale fingers, earphones hanging around your neck, looking like someone who belonged more to the night than the morning. You spotted me immediately, then smiled in that quiet, dangerous way, the kind of smile that always makes me forget every promise I made to myself. Luxury bars spilling music into narrow streets, black cars sliding through rain-soaked intersections, foreign languages mixing with cigarette smoke and cold air. The city glowing beautifully beneath emotional ruin, but down there in the station, everything felt strangely intimate. No rooftop parties, no loud music, no expensive distractions, just two tired people standing beneath artificial light, trying not to acknowledge how much history already existed between us. You asked if I'd been avoiding you again. I laughed softly while looking down at the tracks. Probably honesty always sounds simpler after midnight. You stepped closer slowly, close enough for me to smell rainwater and perfume on your coat, close enough for my chest to tighten automatically, then quietly asked, why do you always disappear when things start feeling real? That question stayed between us heavily, because I've spent years building emotional exits into every relationship. Late replies, work excuses, detached humor, pretending independence means strength. The truth is, I don't know how to survive being needed sincerely. People romanticize loneliness until someone finally offers them intimacy, then suddenly it becomes terrifying. A train rushed past the opposite platform violently, wind pushing against our clothes, the city noise swallowing us for a moment. You looked exhausted tonight, not physically, emotionally, like carrying your own thoughts had become too heavy recently. I recognized that feeling immediately. The dangerous thing about us was never chemistry, it was recognition. We saw the unfinished parts in each other too clearly. The ambition hiding insecurity, the confidence hiding abandonment issues, the nightlife hiding emotional emptiness, the constant movement hiding fear of stillness. You sat beside me on the metal bench, quietly scrolling through old photos on your phone, absent-mindedly, blue light reflecting softly across your face. I noticed one of the pictures was us. Rainy night, convenience store coffee, both of us laughing at something I can't remember anymore. I stared too long. You locked the screen immediately afterward. Neither of us mentioned it. That's another thing damaged people do well. Pretend important moments aren't destroying them internally. The station speakers announced another delay. Some exhausted office worker sighed loudly nearby. A couple argued quietly near the escalator. Some strangers slept against their suitcase beneath the map display. Meanwhile, my entire world narrowed down to the space beside you. You suddenly leaned your head against my shoulder, like your body trusted me more than your mind wanted to admit. And honestly, the tiny softness almost ruined me completely, because intimacy is never the dramatic moments, it's this warmth beside you on a freezing subway platform. Someone choosing your shoulder unconsciously, silence feeling safe instead of awkward. I wanted to freeze the moment permanently, but temporary things always feel the most beautiful. That's why we keep returning to each other, not because we're healthy together, cause every reunion feels like emotional oxygen after drowning too long. You softly asked if I remembered the first night we met. Of course I remembered. Rooftop bar in 81, blue neon lights, your hand brushing mine accidentally while reaching for a drink. Both of us pretending not to notice the tension immediately forming between us. You said, I look lonely even while surrounded by people. Honestly, no sentence has ever described me more accurately. The train finally arrived slowly, doors sliding open with mechanical exhaustion. neither of us moved immediately, like stepping inside would push the night closer to ending. You looked at me carefully then, eyes softer than usual, almost unguarded, then quietly admitted, I keep trying to replace you with easier people. That sentence hit my chest violently, because I've done the exact same thing. Safer conversations, healthier relationships, people who communicate properly, people who don't turn affection into emotional warfare. But none of them ever understood the darkness correctly. And maybe that's toxic. Maybe familiarity with pain isn't love. But at 3 a.m. beneath fluorescent station lights, with rain still dripping from your coat, and the city breathing slowly above us. The penthouse windows glow rose gold against the city tonight. Music shaking softly through marble floors, champagne glasses lined beside expensive mistakes. Everyone dressed beautifully, everyone emotionally unavailable. You stood near the balcony alone, black silk shirt slightly unbuttoned, phone screen glowing against your hand, looking like someone trying very hard not to feel anything deeply. That's always when you look most dangerous. The party around us blurred into noise immediately. Laughter, perfume, camera flashes, people performing confidence for strangers they'll never remember. But all I could focus on was the way your eyes found mine across the room, like loneliness recognizes itself instantly. You smiled slowly while walking toward me, silver chain catching reflections from the city lights. Your voice softer than the music around us. You still disappear when things get too real. I laugh quietly at that, mostly because you already knew the answer. People like us specialize in emotional escape routes, late replies, work excuses, fake detachment, pretending independence means healing. The truth is, I've mastered the art of leaving before anyone gets close enough to ruin me completely. But you somehow kept finding your way through the walls anyway. We stepped outside onto the balcony together, cold air brushing against our skin, soul stretching endlessly beneath us, thousands of windows glowing through the darkness. The hand river reflecting tiny pieces of neon like shattered jewelry. You lit a cigarette slowly, smoke curling upward beside the skyline. The city looked beautiful behind you, but sadness always looked even more beautiful on your face. Somehow you asked if I was happy lately. That question always feels cruel after midnight, because nighttime removes distractions, makes honesty unavoidable, makes even successful people admit how lonely they really are. I stared out at the city before answering. I think I only feel alive when something is destroying me emotionally. You didn't react immediately, just nodded slightly, like you understood the feeling too personally. That's the dangerous thing about us. We never bonded through health or peace or stability. We connected through emotional damage, through insomnia, through abandonment issues, through pretending temporary affection could replace genuine intimacy. The music inside shifted into something slower, bass vibrating softly through the glass doors behind us. Rain beginning to fall lightly against the balcony railing. You stepped closer without thinking about it, close enough for me to smell whiskey and perfume on your skin, close enough for my heartbeat to betray me embarrassingly. Then softly asked, do you ever wish we never met? That question hit harder than any argument we've ever had, because loving you ruined my emotional balance completely. After you, nobody else felt intense enough, beautiful enough, honest enough. Even happiness started feeling emotionally underwhelming. I wanted to tell you that. Instead I looked down at the city lights and quietly admitted, I wish I met you before life made us this complicated. Your expression expression shifted slightly after that. Like sadness briefly loosened its grip on you. The rain started falling harder, tiny drops catching against your eyelashes. The skyline becoming blurred and dreamlike behind us. You laughed softly while pulling your jacket tighter, saying we should probably go inside before getting sick. But neither of us moved, because moments like this feel addictive once you realize they won't last. I think people mistake chemistry for compatibility constantly. Two lonely people understanding each other deeply doesn't automatically mean they know how to stay. And we never knew how to stay. We only knew how to return at 2 a.m. At rooftop parties, inside taxis, inside hotel rooms, inside emotionally dangerous conversations where vulnerability feels safer than daylight. You touch my hand absentmindedly while speaking. I'm tracing slowly against my fingers. The smallest gesture somehow collapsing every emotional defense I built recently. I looked at you carefully, then really looked at you. The exhaustion beneath your confidence, the sadness hidden behind expensive clothes and practiced charm, the fear that appears briefly whenever silence gets too honest. And suddenly I understood something painful. You weren't emotionally distant because you lacked feelings. You weren't emotionally distant because your feelings terrified you too much. The rain soaked through our clothes slowly, music still pulsing faintly from inside the penthouse. The city glowing beneath us like some artificial paradise. You leaned your forehead briefly against my shoulder, breathing slowly, tiredly, like carrying yourself had become exhausting. Then quietly whispered, I don't think either of us knows how to love without turning it into chaos. That sentence stayed inside my chest painfully, because healthy love probably feels unfamiliar to people raised. Rain covered the taxi, windows like moving diamonds tonight. Tiny city lights stretching across the glass in blurred colors, blue, silver, gold. The whole of soul melting beautifully into something impossible to hold. You sat beside me quietly in the backseat, one leg crossed over the other, leather jacket still damp from the rain outside. Your fingers tracing invisible patterns against the fogged window. The driver played a Korean ballad softly through the speakers, low enough to feel distant, high enough to make silence dangerous. Neither of us spoke at first. Some relationships become too heavy for casual conversation. Too many unfinished nights, too many things felt but never properly explained. Outside, Apgujeong moved slowly through the storm, luxury storefronts glowing empty behind wet sidewalks. Couples running beneath umbrellas, drunk strangers laughing outside bars. Delivery scooters disappearing into intersections like ghosts. Meanwhile, we sat together in silence, trying not to reopen emotional wounds neither of us successfully healed from. You smelled like expensive perfume and cigarette smoke, a combination I promised myself I'd forget months ago. But memory has its own cruel instinct, especially after midnight. You finally looked toward me, eyes heavy from exhaustion, lipstick faded slightly, the kind of tiredness sleep never really fixes. Then softly asked, do you still think about me when it rains? I laughed quietly at that, because some questions already know their own answer. Rain always reminds me of you now. Taxi windows, convenience store lights, cold streets after parties, your reflection beside my later became emotionally contaminated. After loving you, he smiled sadly after my silence. That part of you regretted asking. I wanted to say something safe or something emotionally mature, but honesty becomes addictive around certain people. So instead, I admitted the truth. I think about you constantly in places I'm supposed to feel happy. That sentence changed the atmosphere immediately. You looked away toward the city again, jaw tightening slightly, like emotions physically irritated you sometimes. I understand that feeling too well. People who spent years protecting themselves often experience tenderness like a threat. The taxi slowed beside a red light, rain hitting the roof softly above us, neon reflections moving across your face in shifting colors. For a second you looked unreal, like some beautiful memory trying not to disappear completely. You asked whether I've been seeing anyone lately. I told you no, that wasn't entirely true. There were other people, temporary people, rooftop conversations, hotel rooms, half-hearted affection disguised as connection. But none of them ever stayed in my mind after sunrise. That's the problem with meeting someone who understands your loneliness correctly. Everyone afterward feels slightly incomplete. Leaned your head back against the seat slowly, closing your eyes for a moment. The city lights sliding across your skin every few seconds, like soul itself was trying to touch you gently. And quietly said, I keep ruining good things before they become important. That confession hurt because it sounded exactly like something I would say. Maybe that's why we always returned to each other eventually. Not because we were healthy together, because we recognized the damage instantly. People like us fall in love through shared emotional survival habits, distance, deflection, late night honesty, fear disguised as confidence. The taxi crossed the bridge over the hand river, water below reflecting the skyline beautifully, rain softening everything into dreamlike colors. You suddenly grabbed my hand without warning, warm fingers against mine, slightly trembling, like your body emitted emotions your mouth still refused to say directly. I looked down at our hands together, and honestly, that tiny gesture nearly destroyed me. Because intimacy isn't dramatic most of the time, it's quiet. A hand reaching for yours automatically, someone remembering how you take your coffee, the way silence feels safe beside one specific person. You asked if I thought we met at the wrong stage of our lives. I stared out the window before answering. The truthful answer felt too dangerous, because timing is easier to blame than emotional fear. Maybe we weren't unlucky, maybe we were simply two lonely people, addicted to temporary comfort, two emotionally unfinished souls trying to use each other as shelter. And maybe that's why every reunion between us feels so intense. We don't just miss each other, we miss the versions of ourselves that only exist together. The taxi stopped briefly near a convenience store, rain pouring harder outside now, street lights glowing against the puddles, the whole city looking heartbreakingly cinematic. You laugh quietly while watching someone run through the storm, carrying instant noodles and beer, and suddenly asked, the skyline looked unreal from the rooftop tonight. Glass towers glowing above the river like artificial stars. Music pulsing softly beneath conversations nobody would remember tomorrow. Champagne glasses reflecting blue neon across tired faces. You arrived late again. Black velvet jacket, silver rings around your fingers, eyes carrying the kind of exhaustion money can't fix. Everyone noticed you immediately, that always happens. But what scared me most was the way you looked directly at me, like the entire crowded rooftop disappeared for a second. You hugged me briefly, cold hands against my neck, perfume mixing with cigarette smoke and winter air. And suddenly every distraction I've been using to survive stopped working. We stood near the edge of the rooftop quietly, watching traffic move endlessly through so below us. Tiny headlights crossing bridges, apartment windows glowing softly in the distance. Thousands of strangers living completely different lives. You asked if I've been sleeping lately. I laughed quietly. People who know me well never ask that question unless they already know the answer. The truth is, I haven't slept peacefully in years. Not because of work, not because of ambition, because my mind only becomes honest after midnight. That's when the memories arrive correctly. Your voice, your perfume, taxi rides through rain-covered streets, the way your fingers traced invisible circles against my wrist while pretending not to need affection. Nighttime turns loneliness cinematic, and honestly, that's dangerous for people like us. You leaned against the railing beside me, looking down at the city carefully, like maybe so was just another thing trying to consume you slowly. Then you asked, do you ever get tired of pretending you're okay? That question sat between us heavily, because pretending has become instinct now. Pretending success feels fulfilling, pretending temporary attention replaces intimacy, pretending emotional detachment makes us stronger. The older I get, the more I realize loneliness simply learns how to dress better. You smiled sadly after I said that, like you understood too well. The music behind us shifted into something slower, bass vibrating softly through the rooftop floor. Some couple laughing too loudly near the bar, someone taking blurry photos for social media validation. Meanwhile we stood there silently, trying not to confess things that would change everything. You told me you almost called me last week at 4 a.m. after leaving another meaningless party, after realizing surrounded doesn't mean loved. I wanted to ask why you didn't call, but deep down I already knew. Because vulnerability feels humiliating once you've spent years building emotional armor. The city wind moves softly through your hair, you look beautiful in that painfully human way, not polished, not curated, just tired. And somehow that made me want you even more. I think damaged people mistake recognition for destiny. Sometimes we find someone carrying the same sadness, the same emotional distance, the same fear of abandonment, and suddenly it feels spiritual. You asked if I still write songs about you. I looked away toward the river before answering. Every song becomes you. Eventually, that major expression soften for a second, then disappear again. You always do that, reveal emotion briefly, then hide it before anyone can touch it. We ordered another drink neither of us needed, expensive whiskey burning slowly through already exhausted bodies. The bartender polishing glasses without looking interested. The city continuing endlessly beneath us. You suddenly grab my hand while talking absent-mindedly, like your body trusted me more than your mind did. And honestly, that tiny gesture destroyed me more than any kiss ever could, because intimacy is never really about physical closeness. It's the unconscious moments, the moments where someone stops protecting themselves for half a second. You asked me what I'm most afraid of lately. I almost lied, almost said failure, or aging, or losing momentum, but the truth arrived before my ego could stop it. I'm afraid I'll never learn how to love someone without eventually ruining it. Silence followed immediately, the honest kind, the dangerous kind. You stared at the skyline quietly afterward, eyes reflecting blue city light, looking like someone carrying too many unfinished emotions. Then softly said, maybe we ruin things because we only feel alive when they hurt. That sentence beat inside my chest painfully, because people like us romanticize emotional chaos too easily. Healthy love feels unfamiliar. Quietness feels suspicious. Consistency feels boring, so we chase intensity instead. Late night rooftops, temporary lovers, beautifully destructive conversations, moments that feel cinematic enough to distract us from ourselves. The rooftop started emptying slowly. People disappear into elevators and black cars. Music roaring, staff stacking chairs. In the background, still neither of us moved. The convenience store lights look brighter than usual tonight, like tiny artificial moons glowing against the empty street. Rainwater still covering the pavement, reflecting every passing taxi in blurred streaks of yellow and white. It was almost 3 a.m., the hour where loneliness becomes difficult to hide properly. I saw you standing near the instant noodles, oversized gray hoodie, hair slightly wet from the rain, earphones hanging around your neck, looking exhausted in the most beautiful way possible. You noticed me immediately, but neither of us acted surprised, like some part of us had been expecting this collision all night. You lifted a canned coffee toward me, as if asking silently whether I wanted one too. I nodded, and suddenly we were standing beside the microwave together, avoiding eye contact like strangers, pretending not to remember intimacy. The cashier barely looked up, half asleep beneath fluorescent lighting. Soft radio music playing somewhere behind the counter outside. The city moved quietly through the rain. Soul always feels different after midnight, more honest somehow. The expensive buildings stop pretending, the streets empty out. People become softer around the edges, even heartbreak looks cinematic beneath neon reflections. You asked how I've been lately, I almost gave the usual answer. Busy, but exhaustion was sitting too visibly on my face tonight. So instead I told you the truth. I don't think I felt calm in months. You smiled sadly, like you understood immediately. People like us know how to recognize emotional burnout in each other. The delayed replies, the insomnia, the fake confidence, the habit of staying distracted because silence feels dangerous. We sat outside together on the plastic chairs, steam rising from paper ramen cups into the cold air. Cars rushing past occasionally, music leaking softly from someone's phone nearby. Your shoulder brushed against mine lightly, neither of us moving away. You always smelled like expensive perfume mixed with cigarette smoke, like luxury trying to survive sadness. The city lights reflected in your eyes beautifully, tiny pieces of soul trapped inside your silence. You asked if I still write songs about people after they leave. I laughed quietly, as if I know how to write about anything else. That made you look away for a second. I think we both remember too much at the same time. The motel rooms, taxi rides, late night rooftops, arguments whispered softly, because neither of us like losing composure. The strange tenderness that only appeared after midnight. We were never healthy together. Too emotionally damaged, too ambitious, too afraid of needing someone sincerely. But there was always something terrifyingly magnetic between us, like every conversation carried static electricity. You pulled your knees closer against the cold, watching smoke rise from your cigarette slowly into the dark. Then suddenly asked, do you ever wish we met before life made us like this? That question hit harder than it should have, because I think about it constantly. Who we would have been without all the emotional armor, without disappointment teaching us distance, without attention and validation becoming substitutes for connection. Maybe we would have loved each other correctly, or maybe we were always destined to become temporary. The rain started again quietly, small drops tapping against the convenience store roof. The whole street glowing blue beneath the scare them, just warm, alive, together. I think that's why memories hurt so much. Not because they're dramatic, because they briefly convince you happiness was possible. You leaned your head against my shoulder afterward, quietly, trustingly, your breathing slowing slightly. The city around us kept moving endlessly. Delivery scooters, distant sirens, apartment windows glowing softly above the river. Thousands of lives happening simultaneously, yet somehow the entire world felt reduced to that tiny convenience store corner. I wanted to freeze the moment permanently. The smell of rain, the warmth of your body beside mine, the fluorescent lights reflecting against your skin, the sound of your tired voice speaking softly into the night. But beautiful things always dissolve too quickly. That's the curse of people like us. We only understand tenderness when it's already disappearing. You finally looked up at me carefully, eyes heavy from exhaustion, from memories, from feelings neither of us knew how to handle maturely. Then quietly asked, do you think we keep finding this other because we're meant to? I stared at the rain for a long time before answering. No, no. 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 The convenience store lights look brighter than usual tonight, like tiny artificial moons glowing against the empty street. Rainwater still covering the pavement, reflecting every passing taxi and blurred streaks of yellow and white. It was almost 3 a.m., the hour where loneliness becomes difficult to hide properly. I saw you standing near the instant noodles, oversized gray hoodie, hair slightly wet from the rain, earphones hanging around your neck, looking exhausted in the most beautiful way possible. You noticed me immediately, but neither of us acted surprised, like some part of us had been expecting this collision all night. You lifted a can coffee toward me, as if asking silently whether I wanted one too. I nodded, and suddenly we were standing beside the microwave together, avoiding eye contact like strangers, pretending not to remember intimacy. The cashier barely looked up, half asleep beneath fluorescent lighting, soft radio music playing somewhere behind the counter outside. The city moved quietly through the rain, so always feels different after midnight, more honest somehow. But the expensive building stopped pretending this collision all night. You lifted a can coffee toward me as if falling softly over Abgu jumps. Streetlights melt inner to windows of black foreign cars. Luxury stores asleep behind polished glass. The city's still beautiful even when nobody's looking at it. I walked alone past empty cafes and silent crosswalks, hands inside my coat pockets. Music too loud in my headphones, trying to outrun thoughts that always catch me eventually. Then your message appeared, are you awake? Like you didn't already know the answer. People like us rarely sleep properly. Too many ambitions, too many regrets, too many glowing screens, keeping us emotionally unventioned. I told you to meet me near the river. 15 minutes later you arrived. Gray hoodie, baseball cap, no makeup this time. No perfect, no carefully curated version of yourself. Just tired eyes and honesty leaking through the cracks. You look colder than the weather. The air smelled like rain and expensive perfume. Cars passing slowly beside us, hand river lights stretching endlessly through the dark. Everything looked static in the way. Lonely, no, you know what you asked if I've been drinking, and I said only enough to miss people correctly. That that made you laugh harder than it should've. Your laugh always surprises me because wax sounds younger than your sadness. We crossed the street together quietly, shoulders brushing a case and the leader of us moving away. Like physical closeness was easier than emotional clarity. You asked if I'd been drinking, I said only enough to miss people correctly. That made you laugh harder than it should've. Your laugh always surprises me because it sounds younger than your sadness. We crossed the street together quietly, shoulders brushing occasionally, another of us moving away. Like physical closeness was easier than emotional clarity. At the convenience store you bought hot coffee in paper cups, bought strawberry milk and instant ramen. The cashier looked exhausted, half asleep beneath fluorescent lighting. Another anonymous witness to temporary romance. You sat beside me outside on the plastic bench, steam rising into the cold air, watching taxis move through the city like glowing ghosts. Then suddenly you asked, do you think people like us can actually fall in love? I stayed silent too long because the truthful stare scared me. People no cause no desire everywhere. We know this session, chemistry, late night attachment, beautiful self-destruction. But love requires stability, patience, consistency. Things we accidentally sacrifice while chasing bigger dreams. You stared down at your coffee cup quietly, like maybe you already understand. Just lyric down your coffee, how your parents rarely saying things out loud. Them storming guilt and with the hippie code, but what of that silliness and tall compliments that sounded conditional. I understood immediately. But lately, that's a strange thing I made about them speaker, beat broccoli. Our trickle on each other fast kept glowing endlessly. Apartment towers stacked like stars, tiny windows holding thousands of private lives. Couples arguing, children asleep, someone crying in a home, someone falling in love for the first time. Meanwhile, we sat outside a convenience store at 2 a.m., trying to understand why loneliness follows us everywhere. You leaned your head as some dissolved eventually, quietly, careful like you were still deciding whether I was. My heartbeat became embarrassingly loud, not because of the physical closeness, because moments like this feel more intimate than sex sometimes. No distractions, no nightclub lights, no alcohol hiding vulnerability. Just warmth, breathing, trust arriving slowly. You smell like cold air and fabric softener. Your fingers absent-mindedly tracing circles against my sleeve. The smallest gestures somehow destroying all composure completely. I asked what you were afraid of lately. You answered immediately, being known too deeply. That sentence stayed inside my chest painfully, because that's exactly why I keep people at a distance too. Attention is easy, desire is easy, surface level affection, they're everywhere. But real intimacy feels like standing unarmed in front of another person. And neither of us were trained for that kind of survival. We walked along the river afterward, blue reflections trembling across the water. Your shoes splashing lightly through leftover rain, sky glowing above us like a beautiful machine. You suddenly grabbed my hand while crossing the street without thinking about it. And somehow that accidental softness hurt more than any dramatic confession ever could. I think people misunderstand heartbreak. It's rarely explosions, usually it's tiny moments becoming impossible to forget. The shape of someone's voice at 3 a.m., the way they look at the city in silence, the warmth of their hand is soon. A motel sign flickered outside like it was barely surviving. Pink and blue neon bleeding across the wet parking lot. Your reflection moves slowly through the rain-covered window, and suddenly the whole room felt dangerously alive. You always arrive late, like midnight, belong to you personally. Leather jacket still cold from the outside air, hair slightly messy, lipstick faded just enough to make me weak. You dropped your keys on the table, chrome heart keychain shining under the lamp, then looked at me quietly, like you already knew I let you ruin my sleep again. There was always tension between us, not loud tension, not screaming or fighting. The quieter kind, the kind where two people pretend they don't care first, while secretly memorizing every detail about each other. Outside, cars rushed endlessly through Seoul, headlights stretching across the wet streets, convenience store lights glowing like tiny stages, drunk strangers laughing somewhere below the balcony. But inside that motel room, time moved differently. You sat beside me on the edge of the bed, scrolling through old photos you never posted, your face illuminated softly by your phone screen, looking more beautiful than anything pretending to be art online. I asked what you were thinking about, you said nothing important, but your eyes never lie correctly. I've noticed that about damaged people, we become fluid and fake calmness experts at sounding emotionally unavailable, even while silently begging not to be abandoned. You lit a cigarette near the window, smoke curling slowly into the dark, the city skyline blurred behind you like some tragic movie scene, trying too hard to look cool, but you weren't pretending. That's what made it dangerous. You told me fame feels emptier than people imagine, that attention becomes addicted, even when you hate it, even when it destroys your ability to trust affection. I understood immediately, because loneliness feels different when people are constantly around you, louder, somehow more humiliating. You asked if I ever get tired of nightlife, the parties, the music, the pretending, the expensive alcohol, the emotionally meaningless conversations. I wanted to say yes, but the truth is, silence scares me more than exhaustion. So instead I laughed and changed the subject like I always do when honesty gets too close. You lean back against the pillows, oversized white shirt falling slightly off your shoulder, jewelry catching tiny pieces of neon light, looking simultaneously untouchable and heartbreakingly tired. I think that was the exact moment I fell apart completely. Not because you looked perfect, because you looked human, like someone exhausted from carrying their own sadness too long. The air conditioner hummed softly above us, old R&B songs playing quietly from my phone speaker, rain tapping against the window in slow rhythm, the entire city sounding half asleep. You move closer carefully, like affection physically hurt you, your hand resting against my chest, feeling my heartbeat through the fabric. And for a second everything became terrifyingly simple. No performance, no ego, no fake confidence, no social media versions of ourselves, just warmth, breathing, skin, loneliness trying to heal itself temporarily. You kissed me slowly, like someone revisiting a dangerous habit, your perfume mixing with cigarette smoke and rainwater, every touch carrying the strange sadness inside it, like we both knew moments like this never survived daylight. Hours disappear. talked about childhood memories, broken friendships, parents who struggled to express love correctly, dreams that stopped feeling exciting after becoming real. At some point, you fell asleep beside me, one hand still holding onto my sleeve slightly, as if even unconscious part of you expected people to leave. I watched the city through the curtains until sunrise, thinking about how strange intimacy really is. Two strangers carrying completely different histories, still somehow ending up in the same room, trying desperately to feel less alone. Morning entered cruelly. Natural light always exposes too much. Your makeup slightly faded, my exhaustion impossible to hide anymore. Reality returning piece by piece. You sigh quietly while putting your boots back on, neither of us speaking properly, because endings become real the moment someone starts getting dressed. I wanted to ask whether this meant anything to you, but fear has always interrupted my best sentences. So instead I asked if you slept okay. You smiled softly, almost sadly, then said, better than usual. And somehow that hurt more than goodbye. The door closed gently behind you. No dramatic ending, no final kiss, no cinematic music, just silence, the kind that lingers long after someone leaves. Outside, the city was already awake again. Subways crowded, coffee shops opening, office workers rushing through another ordinary morning. Meanwhile, I stayed there alone, still smelling your perfume on the sheets, still replaying your voice in my head. I saw your reflection first, before I saw your face. A distorted silhouette moving across the elevator mirror, silver jewelry, dark eyes, your phone glowing softly against your hand, like the whole city had already memorized you. You walked in without looking at anyone, but somehow the room bent around your presence, like people naturally make space for beautiful disasters. The rooftops smell like cigarettes and rain, music vibrating through half-empty champagne glasses, everyone pretending they were happier than they really were, everyone laughing a little too loudly, everyone chasing some temporary feeling before sunrise erased it. You stood beside me quietly, looking over the soul skyline, like you were trying to escape it, or maybe own it. I asked if you were cold, you said not anymore, and somehow that sentence stayed inside me all night. Your voice had this dangerous softness to it, like someone who learned how to survive disappointment elegantly. You smiled slowly, like trust was expensive, like affection should come with consequences. I think I loved you immediately, not in the innocent way, not in the healthy way, more like recognizing an addiction the second it enters your bloodstream. We left the party without saying goodbye, black taxi, fogged windows, your knees touching mine every time the driver turned corners outside. The neon signs bled across the wet pavement, pink, blue, gold, the whole city looking drunk on loneliness. You rested your head against my shoulder, and suddenly I forgot every other person I'd ever wanted. There's something terrifying about intimacy after midnight. People become honest accidentally. The walls come down quietly, not through courage, but exhaustion. You asked me if I was happy lately. I laughed too hard at the question, because happiness isn't really something people like us experience consistently. We chase moments instead, temporary highs, temporary lovers, temporary confidence, temporary versions of ourselves. I told you I'll make music because silence scares me. You told me you keep falling for emotionally unavailable people, then look directly at me afterward, like a warning, like a dare. At the convenience store near the river, we bought canned coffee and strawberry milk. The cashier looked half asleep, street lights flickering outside, cars moving slowly through the rain. Everything felt cinematic in that dangerous way, where you already know the ending won't be kind. Back at my apartment, you walked around barefoot, oversized jacket hanging off your shoulders, looking through my vinyl collection, touching pieces of my life carefully, like you were afraid of breaking down, maybe afraid of understanding me too well. The city outside kept glowing violently, and river bridges stretching endlessly through the darkness, helicopters crossing distant buildings, drunk strangers singing somewhere below. Meanwhile, we stood in the kitchen at 3 a.m. sharing cold takeout noodles straight from the container. You laughed with your entire body, sometimes head tilted back, eyes disappearing completely. And every time you did, I forgot how exhausted I was. I asked what you were thinking about. You said people only love each other honestly at night. I didn't answer, because I knew you were right. Daylight changes people, makes them practical, careful, less brave. But nighttime turns loneliness into confession. You kiss me first, slowly, like testing whether I disappear. Your hands cold against my neck, your perfume mixing with the smell of rain, still trapped inside our clothes. And suddenly every selfish decision I'd ever made felt worth it, just to arrive at that exact moment. But beautiful things always carry tension inside them, 'cause how you know they won't last? By morning, the distance returned quietly. You sat at the edge of my bed reading messages you refused to answer, sunlight cutting across your face, the world becoming real again. I wanted to ask you to stay longer, wanted to ask what this meant, wanted to ask whether you were as terrified as I was. But vulnerability has never looked good on me, so instead I asked if you wanted coffee. You smiled sadly, like you understood the question I didn't ask. Outside, the city kept moving without us, subways filling with tired office workers, couples posting perfect photos online, restaurants opening for another ordinary afternoon. Meanwhile, I was standing in my kitchen watching you put your shoes back on, feeling something inside me collapse silently. You said, don't romanticize me too much, but it was already too late for that, because now every neon reflection reminds me of your eyes. Every rainy street sounds like your voice. Every sleepless night feels shaped like your silhouette. I still replay tiny details obsessively, the way your fingers trace circles against the window glass, the way you looked away after every honest sentence, the way your breathing slowed while you slept beside me. People talk about heartbreak like an explosion, but honestly, it's quieter than that. It's check, it's check. Rain sliding slowly across the penthouse windows tonight, blue neon reflections trembling against marble floors, music echoing softly through half-empty rooms. Another after party filled with beautiful strangers, pretending they're not lonely. I stood above the skyline with a glass in my hand, watching soul breathe beneath midnight clouds. Black cars crossing bridges like moving shadows, the whole city glowing expensive and emotionally exhausted. Then your voice cut through the noise behind me, still romanticizing sadness. I turned slowly, and there you were again, silver jewelry, dark eyes, confidence covering exhaustion perfectly, looking like someone who learned how to survive heartbreak elegantly. I laughed quietly, still pretending confidence means peace. That made you smile, dangerous habit, because every time you smile at me, I forget how carefully I built emotional distance. The rooftop air felt cold against our skin, rainwater reflecting city lights beneath our feet, music pulsing softly behind glass doors while strangers dance through temporary happiness. step beside me naturally. Close enough for warmth to interrupt my thoughts, close enough for old feelings to wake up immediately. I heard your new song, you whisper softly. You sound lonely in expensive ways. Now that sentence landed directly inside my chest, because success changes the scenery, not the emptiness. You can upgrade apartments, jewelry, cars, views, but loneliness still follows you home eventually. The skyline blurred beneath rain, while silence stretched between us beautifully. Then the beat shifted, bass heavier now, drum sharp, but the city sounding darker somehow. I lean back against the railing chain, catching flashes of neon light, voice lower, more honest. Yeah, look, everybody wanna touch gold when the lights hit, till they realize success still come with a price tag. Penthouse nights, still anxiety inside that. Heartbreak dressed in designer, I disguise that. Whole city know my name when the songs play. Still eat convenience store ramen on the wrong days. Still drive around so at like 4 a.m. thinking maybe peace exists, but I'm too gone, babe. You know fame only amplifies your habits. If you'll only be for money, then the silence getting tragic. Women parties, flashing lights, private tables full of magic, but nobody teach you how to keep a soul attached to balance. Damn, rain hit hard against the rooftop glass. You stared at me carefully after the verse ended, like you saw too much honesty escape at once. That's the most truthful thing you've said in months, you whispered. I smiled faintly. Maybe midnight makes me irresponsible. You laugh softly under the storm clouds, hair moving through cold city wind. The skyline glowing behind you beautifully and honestly. You look more dangerous than the nightlife itself. The music softened again, dreamy sins floating across the rooftop. Your hand brushing against mine naturally. No hesitation anymore. People like us don't fall slowly. We circle each other emotionally, pretending indifference, then suddenly drowning in feelings we spent months avoiding. You rested your head briefly against my shoulder, breathing slow, warm against the cold rain. I hate how calm I feel around you, you admitted quietly. That sentence almost ruined me, because peace always feels suspicious after years of emotional chaos. The city below kept moving endlessly. Taxis crossing wet intersections, apartment windows glowing through the storm. People everywhere searching for temporary comfort before sunrise. Meanwhile we stood above all of it, two emotionally exhausted people, trying to decide whether vulnerability was worth the risk again. The beat returned darker this time, 808 shaking softly beneath the skyline. I looked toward the river before speaking again. Yeah, I seen rich people cry in penthouse suites, seen broke kids happier dancing in the streets. The truth is money only buys prettier grief. Gold bottles are still empty when the night gets deep, and every time I touch your skin I feel balanced, like maybe I could finally silence all this damage. But love feels dangerous when your life built on habits. So we kiss slow while the city drowned in static. You looked up at me carefully after that, eyes softened now, no games left inside them. Then quietly whispered, maybe we're both tired of running. The rain slowed around us, music echoing faintly from inside the skyline, turning silver beneath early morning clouds. And for one rare honest moment, neither of us tried to hide the loneliness anymore.
The pianos finally went quiet around 3 a.m. Half-empty champagne glasses scattered across marble counters. Music lowered to a soft echo in the background. The city still glowing endlessly beyond the windows. So look unreal from this high up. Rain reflections covering every street below. Black cars sliding through Hannum slowly. The whole skyline wrapped in silver and gold light. You sat barefoot on the kitchen counter, oversized jacket falling off one shoulder. Scrolling through old photos on your phone, absent-mindedly. Then suddenly laughing softly. What? You turned the screen toward me. A blurry picture of us from months ago. Hotel rooftop, blue neon lights. Both of us smiling like loneliness hadn't caught us yet.
That night ruined my standards.
You whispered jokingly,
I laughed quietly, emotionally or aesthetically.
you looked at me carefully after that.
Both.
The silence afterward felt warm instead of awkward, like exhaustion had finally removed our defenses for the night.
You always become softer after parties end.
Less performance, less flirting, more honesty leaking through the cracks outside. Rain tapped gently against the glass walls, the skyline reflecting across your skin beautifully. The entire room glowing gold around you.
And honestly, that moment already felt impossible to forget. You asked if I was happy lately. I leaned back against the counter before answering. I think I'm getting better at distracting myself. That made your smile fade slightly, because you understood immediately.
People like us stay busy on purpose. Music, work, nightlife, attention, temporary people, anything loud enough to interrupt only leaves before it starts speaking clearly. You slid off the counter slowly, walking toward me with sleepy elegance. Warm fingers fixing the collar of my jacket automatically.
You always look emotionally expensive, you whispered. I laughed under my breath. That doesn't sound healthy. It's not. That answer landed somewhere dangerous inside my chest. The music shifted softer behind us, dreamy synths echoing through the empty penthouse.
The rain outside turning soul into watercolor light. You rested your head briefly against my shoulder, breathing slowly like your body trusted me more than your thoughts wanted to admit. And honestly, that tiny softness affected me more than any dramatic confession could.
Because intimacy never arrives loudly with us. It's always quiet.
Shared silence, late night kitchens, hands brushing accidentally. Someone staying longer than necessary. You suddenly asked,
Do you think we keep finding each other because we're lonely? Or because this is actually something real?
I stared toward the skyline before answering, because both possibilities terrified me equally. The truthful answer finally arrived quietly.
I think loneliness brought us together, but I'm scared it became something more.
Your fingers tightened slightly against my jacket after hearing that the city below kept glowing beautifully. Rain falling softer now, the entire world outside looking distant and cinematic. You looked up at me carefully, eyes heavy from exhaustion and honesty. I tried to stop caring about you, you admitted softly. I dated easier people, healthier people, but every conversation felt emotionally flat afterward. That sentence hit me harder than expected,
Because I understood it perfectly.
once someone understands your sadness correctly, everyone else starts sounding slightly incomplete. The penthouse lights dimmed automatically around us, only the skyline illuminating the room now. Blue and gold reflections across your face.
The storm slowly disappearing behind the buildings. You moved closer naturally, forehead brushing softly against mine.
And suddenly everything felt dangerously calm. No games, no teasing, no emotional running.
Just warmth, breathing, and two lonely people standing too close to the truth. I think you became part of my routine emotionally. You whispered, like music at night, or rain against windows, or checking my phone hoping your name appears. My chest tightened immediately, because you already became that for me too.
The city outside kept moving endlessly. Taxis crossing bridges, apartment lights flickering in distant towers. People everywhere trying to feel less alone before morning. Meanwhile we stood inside gold light
And fading music, trying not to admit this connection had already gone too far. You smiled softly afterward, sad and beautiful at the same time. Then quietly asked, if we finally stop pretending, what happens to us?
Camera flashes fill the hallway tonight. White lights bursting against black designer jackets. People laughing too loudly outside the ballroom, trying to turn exhaustion into glamour again. You stood near the mirror wall holding champagne, silver dress reflecting every light in the room, looking effortlessly untouchable until your eyes met mine. Then suddenly the entire party felt smaller. You smiled slowly while walking toward me, the kind of smile that always feels dangerous after midnight, like temptation wearing expensive perfume. Didn't expect to see you here, you whisper softly. I laughed under my breath. That's a lie. You always expect me eventually. That made you grin properly this time. Head tilting slightly while music pulsed through the floor beneath us. Outside the windows, rain-covered soul and neon reflections. Cars moving slowly through Abidjan. Luxury buildings glowing blue and gold against the clouds. The city looking beautiful enough to forgive bad decisions. You leaned beside me against the wall, close enough for warmth to interrupt my concentration, close enough for old memories to start breathing again. That's the problem with us, we never really restart. We just continue from wherever the feelings were left unfinished. The music shifted softer around us, dreamy suits floating through the ballroom, people dancing beneath crystal lights while photographers chased perfect moments. You looked exhausted tonight, not physically, emotionally, like attention itself had become heavy to carry. I'm getting tired of being perceived constantly. You admit it quietly. Everyone wants a version of me. Nobody wants the actual mess that set and stayed inside me immediately. Because loneliness feels different when people think they already know you. I look down in my glass before answering. I think that's why I always come back to you. You never seem impressed by me. You smiled sadly after hearing that. Maybe because I see the lonely parts first. Silence followed, soft, dangerous, comfortable. The kind of silence that only exists between two people who already understand each other too deeply. You suddenly grabbed my hand gently. Come outside with me. So we slipped away from the ballroom together, past elevator mirrors, past strangers pretending confidence, past camera flashes and luxury perfume clouds. The rooftop air felt colder than expected, rainwater shining beneath neon lights, the hand river glowing quietly below us. You rested your elbows against the railing, hair moving softly in the window, skyline stretching endlessly behind you. And honestly, you look less lonely outside the party, like artificial light never suited you properly. You turned toward me carefully. Do you ever wish we met before life got so complicated? That question hurt in a strangely beautiful way. Because I think about alternate versions of us constantly. Versions without emotional armor, without fame fatigue, without pretending detachment equals strength. Maybe we would've loved each other more gently. Or maybe people like us always find ways to turn softness into chaos. Eventually, the rain started falling again lightly, tiny silver drops against your skin. Music echoing faintly from inside the building behind us. You stepped closer naturally, hands sliding into my jacket pockets for warmth, your forehead resting briefly against my chest. And suddenly, the whole city disappeared. No parties, no strangers, no performance, just breathing, rain, warmth and feelings both of us spent too long pretending weren't real. I hate how much calmer I feel around you, you whispered softly. I smiled against your hair. That sounds like a good thing. You looked up at me slowly, then eyes balconies glowing beneath rooftop light. No, you admit it quietly. It's terrifying because peace feels unfamiliar once you become addicted to emotional chaos. I understood immediately. People like us know how to survive excitement, attention, intensity, beautiful disasters, but tenderness that still scares us more than heartbreak ever could. The rooftop stayed quiet around us, the skyline blurred beneath the rain. Your fingers still holding on to my jacket carefully, like letting go too quickly might break the moment. And softly, almost too quietly to hear, you asked if I kissed you right now, will we ruin everything again? I laughed under my breath. That's a lie. You always expect me eventually. That made you grin properly this time. Head tilting slightly while music pulsed through the floor beneath us. Outside the windows, I smelled against your hair. That sounds like a good thing. You looked up at me slowly, then eyes glowing beneath rooftop light. No, you admitted quietly. It's terrifying because peace feels unfamiliar once you become addicted to emotional chaos. I understood immediately. People like us know how to survive excitement, attention, intensity, beautiful disasters, but tenderness that still scares us more than heartbreak ever could. The rooftop stayed quiet around us, the skyline blurred beneath the rain. Your fingers still holding onto my jacket carefully, like letting go too quickly might break the moment. Then softly, almost too quietly to hear, you asked if I kissed you right now, but we're ruining everything again. I laughed under my breath. That's a lie. You always expect me eventually. That made you grin properly this time. Head tilting slightly while music pulsed through the floor beneath us. I smell the windows, rain covered soul and neon reflections. Cars moving slowly through Abidjan. Luxury buildings glow in blue and gold against the clouds. The city looking beautiful and enough to forgive bad decisions. You lean beside me against the wall, close enough for warmth to interrupt my concentration, close enough for old memories to start breathing again. That's the problem with us, we never really restart. We just continue from wherever the feelings were left unfinished. That made you grin properly this time. Head tilting slightly while music pulsed through the floor beneath us. Outside the windows, rain covered soul and neon reflections. Cars moving slowly through Abidjan. Luxury buildings glowing blue and gold against the clouds. The city looking beautiful enough to forgive bad decisions. You lean beside me against the wall. The hotel hallway glowed ivory beneath midnight lights. Soft jazz echoing through polished marble walls. Rain still falling outside somewhere above the city, turning soul into silver reflections and blurred headlights. You walked toward me slowly from the elevator. White dress, wet hair, lip gloss shining beneath gold ceiling lights. Looking like a memory, pretending to be a person. And honestly, that already felt dangerous. You smiled the second our eyes met. That same familiar smile, half playful, half emotionally devastating. Still avoiding me, you whispered softly. I laughed under my breath. You still making it impossible. That made you tilt your head slightly, trying not to smile too hard, like we were both pretending this tension didn't still exist between us. But it did, always did. Some connections survive distance too easily. The rooftop lounge above us pulsed softly with music, bass vibrating faintly through the walls. People laughing somewhere behind glass windows. The city glowing endlessly beyond the rain. You stood beside me, we're waiting for the elevator, close enough for your perfume to interrupt every rational thought immediately. The silence felt intimate already, not awkward, not empty. The kind kind of silence shared by two people who already know too much about each other. You asked if I've been sleeping better lately. I looked away toward the mirrored walls before answering. Not really, that answer sounded too honest too quickly. But midnight always weakens my ability to pretend. You nodded quietly like you expected it. I still wake up around 4 a.m. Sometimes you admit it softly. And for some reason, you're always the first thought. The elevator doors opened before I could respond. Gold lights spilling softly across your face. The skyline visible behind the glass, rooftop windows above us. The whole night suddenly feeling cinematic enough to become dangerous again. Inside the elevator, the air changed immediately. Too quiet, too close, too many unfinished emotions trapped between us. You lean against the wall beside me carefully, eyes studying my expression like you were searching for evidence. I still cared. The truth is I never stopped. But people like me learn how to disguise attachment elegantly. We turn longing into sarcasm, distance into mystery, loneliness into aesthetic. You suddenly laugh softly while fixing my jacket collar. You still just like heartbreak. That sentence hit me harder than it should've. Mostly because you always understood me through details nobody else noticed. The elevator opened onto the rooftop slowly. Cold air rushing against our skin, slow stretching endlessly beneath us in blue and gold light. Rainwater reflecting neon signs across the floor. The lounge was nearly empty now, just soft music, champagne glasses, and strangers pretending not to stare at each other emotionally. You walked toward the railing first, hair moving softly in the wind. The skyline glowing behind your silhouette beautifully. I joined you quietly, standing close enough for warmth to replace distance again. Then suddenly you asked, did you ever actually move on from me? That question settled heavily between us because the truthful answer felt humiliating. Moving on sounds easy in daylight, but after midnight, after loneliness, after hearing your voice again, nothing feels finished. I stared toward the Han River before answering. I got better at functioning without you. But no, I don't think I moved on. Your expression softened immediately, like relief and sadness arrived together. The rain started again lightly around us, tiny silver drops against your shoulders. Music echoing softly through rooftop air while the city shimmered below. You stepped closer naturally, your fingers brushing against mine, warm despite the cold night. I hate how calm I feel around you, you whispered. I smiled faintly, wide. You looked down briefly before answering, because people like us aren't supposed to feel calm. That sentence stayed inside me painfully, because maybe we really had confused chaos with love for too long. Late night parties, taxi confessions, emotional distance, beautiful fights, temporary reunions. We survived on intensity instead of trust, but tonight felt different somehow. Quieter, softer, more honest. You rested your head against my shoulder carefully. The skyline glowing around us, the city breathing slowly beneath the rain. And for one dangerous moment, everything inside me finally stopped running. No pretending, no emotional armor, no performance, just your warmth beside mine. And the terrifying realizing that I still wanted this to become real. You looked up at me softly, then eyes reflecting neon light beautifully, and quietly asked, if I stayed this time, would you finally stop leaving first?
The rooftop carnival lights looked unreal tonight.
Tiny mirror balls spinning above the skyline.
Music drifting through warm summer air, so glowing beneath us like a dream, trying too hard to stay alive.
You stood beside the carousel, laughing softly, Silver heels catching reflections from the neon signs.
Cotton candy in one hand, champagne in the other.
Somehow elegant and dangerous at the same time.
You notice me staring immediately.
You always look at me like I already broke your heart.
I smiled under my breath.
Maybe you did.
That made you laugh louder.
The kind of laugh that feels playful until you realize sadness is hiding underneath it.
Rain earlier had left the rooftop shining silver. Every light reflecting beautifully across the wet floor.
The whole city looking cinematic enough to make loneliness feel glamorous again. You grab my wrist suddenly.
Come with me.
Before I could answer,
You pull me onto the carousel beside you.
music spinning softly around us,
Golden lights moving across your face.
while the city blurred behind everything.
And honestly,
That moment already felt like nostalgia while it was happening.
you looked at me carefully once the ride started moving. Hair brushing softly against your shoulders.
Eyes brighter than the skyline beneath us.
Do you ever think we keep meeting? Because neither of us learned the lesson yet.
That question stayed inside my chest heavily.
Because maybe we really were repeating ourselves
Endlessly, late night reunions,
Beautiful conversation.
temporary closeness.
Then distance again. Once feelings became too real.
People like us love in circles, always returning.
Never arriving. The carousel music echoes softly through rooftop air.
Some couple kissing near the bar.
Staff lowering lights little by little as midnight stretched itself thinner.
You lean back against the seat, looking up at the clouds moving over so.
I tried dating someone normal recently. You admitted quietly.
He texted back fast.
He communicated.
He wanted something healthy.
I laughed softly.
And
You looked at me for a long second before answering.
it felt emotionally quiet.
And for some reason I missed the chaos.
That sentence hurt because I understood it perfectly.
We become addicted to intensity after a while.
To tension, to uncertainty,
To emotional
fireworks disguised as chemistry.
healthy affection feels unfamiliar.
Once you spend too long surviving dramatic love.
Carousel slowed eventually.
Lights still spinning around us in soft gold circles.
The skyline glowing blue beyond the rooftop edge.
You stayed seated beside me,
Neither of us moving yet.
then softly asked.
Do you think we would ruin each other if we actually tried?
I stared toward the river before answering.
Because honesty after midnight
Always arrives sharper than expected.
I think we already did.
But somehow we keep coming back anyway.
Your expression softened immediately.
Less teasing now.
More vulnerable.
The wind moves softly through the rooftop.
Music fading quieter.
In the distance, the entire city suddenly feeling small around us. You reach for my hand slowly, fingers warm against mine.
No dramatic confession,
No performance,
just softness again.
and somehow softness always scares me more.
You rested your head briefly against my shoulder,
Breathing slowly,
while the carousel lights
continued spinning around us. Gold reflections across your skin.
rainwater shimmering beneath our feet.
And quietly whispered.
You feel like a song I never stop replaying.
My chest tightened instantly.
Because you did too.
Not loudly,
Not dramatically.
just constantly.
In Texas,
In elevators, in lonely hotel rooms after parties, and
in every beautiful place that somehow
still feels emotionally unfinished.
the rooftop finally began shutting down around us.
Workers stacking chairs,
Music lowering completely.
the city still glowing endlessly.
neither of us wanted to leave first.
Because endings always feel real.
When someone starts walking away, you looked up at me carefully, then
Eyes softer than I'd seen in months,
and quietly asked,
if we met again for the first time tonight,
would you still fall for me?
I laughed softly after hearing that.
Then brushed rainwater gently from your cheek.
Probably faster than before.
Your name still glows differently on my phone at night, like memory has its own lighting somehow.
3 a.m. reflections moving across my ceiling, rain hitting the window softly while soul refuses to sleep.
I almost ignored your call,
Almost.
but loneliness makes old habits sound beautiful again. Your
Voice arrived quiet at first, half hidden behind city noise and slow breathing.
like you weren't fully sure I'd answer.
You awake?
I laughed under my breath.
You only call me after midnight.
You say that like you hate it.
Maybe I should've.
Instead my chest tightened
Immediately, like every unfinished feeling, still remembered the shape of you perfectly.
outside.
The skyline blurred beneath summer rain.
Black cars crossing bridges.
Luxury towers glowing silver against dark clouds. The city looking expensive and emotionally exhausted.
You asked where I was,
Driving nowhere.
that made you laugh softly.
That sounds exactly like you. And honestly,
That sounded exactly like us. Always moving, never arriving emotionally anywhere.
30 minutes later you slipped into the passenger seat beside me.
White jacket,
Wet hair from the rain,
lip gloss shining beneath dashboard lights.
looking dangerously familiar.
The air inside the car changed instantly,
Some people carry tension with them naturally,
like perfume.
like electricity.
You adjusted the music quietly. Old pop songs mixed with soft synths and late night static.
The kind of soundtrack that makes temporary feelings seem permanent. Neither of us spoke properly at first.
The city filled the silence for us. Traffic lights reflecting.
Across the windshield, taxi signs glowing through rainwater.
Convenience stores shining like tiny moons beside empty streets.
Then suddenly you looked at me and asked, did you miss me honestly?
That question landed directly inside my ribs.
Because honesty sounds louder in moving cars after midnight.
I wanted to act detached, wanted to sound emotionally evolved.
Wanted to pretend I
Moved on beautifully, but your perfume already ruined every defense I had prepared.
So instead I admitted quietly.
I tried to,
Your expression softened immediately.
like hearing the truth hurt, but relief hurt less than uncertainty.
You looked out toward the river afterward, watching neon reflections tremble across the water.
I dated easier, people after you.
You whispered,
People who communicated properly.
people who didn't disappear emotionally every time feelings got serious.
I smiled sadly.
Did it work? You stayed silent long enough to answer everything. The car kept moving through Hannah slowly, rain wrapping the city in silver light.
The world outside looking cinematic enough to romanticize mistakes again.
You rested your head carefully against the window,
Eyes half closed,
looking exhausted in that heartbreakingly elegant way only you could.
then quietly admitting
No one ever felt like home after you.
that sentence nearly stopped my breathing.
Because I understood it too well.
People think moving on means forgetting someone,
But sometimes moving on just means learning how to survive.
while missing out constantly.
We stopped near the river,
Eventually,
engine humming softly beneath us.
rain falling hard and You turn toward me slowly,
Close enough for warmth to replace distance.
your fingers brushing against mine carefully.
Why do we keep doing this to ourselves? You whispered.
I looked at our hands before answering,
Because the truthful answer sounded tragic.
people like us,
Mistake emotional familiarity for destiny.
we return to each other because nobody else understands the loneliness correctly.
And maybe that's unhealthy.
But at 4 a.m. beside the Han River,
With your hand inside mine,
and rain softening the entire city around us,
it felt close enough to love. You leaned forward first, forehead resting gently against mine.
breathing slowly,
Like both of us were exhausted from pretending not to care.
I still think about you every night, you admit it softly,
The honesty in your voice destroyed me quietly.
because I did too.
In elevators and songs and hotel mirrors and empty apartments after parties, and in every beautiful place that somehow still feels incomplete.
The rain blurred the skyline,
Completely now,
turning soul into silver watercolor light.
the whole city disappearing behind us, while silence wrapped itself around the car softly.
Then you smiled sadly
Thumb tracing slowly against my hand.
and whispered,
Maybe some people never really leave each other.
blue lights moved across the rooftop slowly tonight. The skyline,
Glowing like diamonds above the river.
music floating through cold midnight air.
Champagne laughter echoing between strangers, pretending they weren't lonely.
You stood beside the bar wearing black silk,
Gold earrings catching flashes of neon every time you turned your head.
the city looked beautiful
Behind you, but honestly,
not as beautiful as your expression when you caught me staring.
you smiled immediately,
Dangerous habit,
then walked toward me like you already knew I'd lose every emotional battle tonight.
still acting mysterious,
She whispered softly.
taking my drink without asking first.
I laughed quietly. You still pretending you don't enjoy attention.
You tilted your head with that playful look again,
The one that always feels flirtatious and slightly cruel at the same time.
only when it comes from people I don't care about.
That sentence hit harder than it should have.
The music shifted slower around us,
Warm bass lines vibrating beneath the rooftop floor.
rain clouds moving
Slowly above, so
the entire city glowing silver
and blue beneath the night.
You leaned against the railing beside me, close enough for your perfume to ruin my concentration completely.
We watched the river quietly for a while, cars crossing bridges beneath us like tiny moving stars.
The wind pushing softly through your hair.
Then suddenly, you asked,
Why do you always leave first?
I looked down at my glass before answering, because the truthful answer felt embarrassing.
People like me always leave first,
Because abandonment feels less painful when it's self-inflicted.
but saying that out loud would have sounded too honest.
So instead I smiled faintly.
Maybe I just hate goodbye.
She laughed softly after hearing that, like you understood the lie immediately.
That's not true, you whispered.
You're just scared someone might matter too much.
Silence followed,
The dangerous kind. The kind where someone accidentally says exactly what you've been hiding from yourself.
the rain finally started falling lightly around us, tiny silver drops against your shoulders, music echoing through rooftop air while the city blurred beautifully beneath the storm.
You stepped closer naturally,
Your hand resting briefly against my chest,
feeling my heartbeat through my jacket.
and honestly, that tiny touch almost destroyed my composure.
Completely,
You're always making intimacy feel effortless.
Like vulnerability is something elegant instead of terrifying.
I asked if you were happy lately.
Your smile faded slightly after that.
Not dramatically,
Just enough for sadness to become visible underneath it.
I think I'm only happy during moments that disappear quickly.
You admitted softly.
That sentence stayed inside me painfully.
Because people like us become addicted to temporary things.
Late night conversations,
Taxi rides, rooftop confessions,
beautiful people with emotional damage.
hidden beneath expensive clothes.
We mistake intensity
For destiny,
constantly.
the rooftop slowly emptied around us.
Strangers disappearing into elevators.
Staff lowering music little by little.
The night becoming quieter,
More intimate.
more dangerous.
You rested your head briefly against my shoulder.
Cold fingers sliding between mine.
The skyline glowing endlessly around us.
Then quietly whispered,
You know what scares me most about you?
I looked down at you carefully.
You smiled sadly before answering.
You make loneliness feel romantic.
The city beneath us kept shining beautifully.
Rain falling softly over Hannah.
The river reflecting silver light into the darkness.
And suddenly I
Realized something terrifying.
no matter how hard we
Pretended otherwise
we were already falling.
for each other.
The hotel arms look frozen in cold tonight. Soft jazz playing beneath the sound of rain against the windows. People dressed beautifully, smiling carefully, pretending nobody carried sadness into expensive places. You sat across from me wearing white satin, leg crossed slowly, champagne glass spinning between your fingers, looking at me like you already knew this night would become dangerous.
The city outside blurred beneath midnight rain. Gangnam glowing in silver and blue reflections. Luxury cars sliding through wet streets. The whole world feeling unreal enough to confess things honestly.
You asked why I kept staring.
I smiled quietly.
Because you always look like a memory before you even leave.
That made you laugh softly. The kind of laugh that feels warm and cruel at the same time.
You moved closer beside me.
Eventually,
Perfume mixing with whiskey and cold air.
you show that brush your mind naturally. Like distance between us never survives very long.
We talked about meaningless things at first.
Music,
Travel,
people we pretend to miss.
but underneath every sentence,
Something heavier kept breathing quietly.
that's the problem with chemistry.
Even sound starts flirting eventually.
The music shifted slower, bass vibrating softly beneath the floor.
Your fingers tracing circles against the rim of your glass absent-mindedly.
Then suddenly you asked,
Why do you always act fine when you're clearly falling apart? That question landed too directly inside me.
because I spent years mastering college loneliness.
Looking calm, looking successful, looking emotionally unavailable enough to survive disappointments.
But you always noticed the cracks immediately.
I looked toward the rain outside before answering.
Because people leave faster once they know how much power they have over you.
Your expression softened after hearing that.
Less playful now.
More honest.
For a second, neither of us looked away.
The city lights reflected beautifully across your eyes. Tiny pieces of soul trapped inside your silence.
You reached for my hand slowly.
Warm fingers against mine.
No dramatic Somehow that felt more intimate than kissing.
Outside, the rain caps falling over the river, the skyline glowing like a dream nobody could afford forever. Music echoing quietly around us while midnight stretched itself thinner and thinner.
Peeling closer carefully,
Close enough for your voice to feel personal against my skin.
then softly whispered.
I think we're both pretending not to care first,
I laughed under my breath.
because you were right.
People like us don't fall in love normally. We circle each other carefully, turning vulnerability into games, turning affection into tension.
Waiting for someone else to risk honesty first.
But the dangerous part was this.
Every time I looked at you tonight,
I forgot how to keep pretending.
the lounge slowly,
Emptied around us, sky flowering lights.
strangers disappearing into elevators and black
The
cars.
night becoming quieter,
More intimate.
more honest.
You rested your head briefly against my shoulder,
Breathing slowly,
like exhaustion finally defeated your defenses for a moment.
and honestly,
That tiny gesture almost broke me completely.
because no matter how glamorous the city looks after midnight,
Loneliness still sounds the same everywhere.
soft breathing
Half-finished confessions,
and two emotionally damaged people.
trying to feel understood before morning arrives. Mirror ball reflections moving across your skin tonight.
Silver lights spinning slowly
Through the hotel suite,
music floating softly above half-finished conversations.
the city glowing beneath us like another beautiful light.
You danced alone near the window at first,
Champagne glass balanced perfectly in your hand,
black dress catching flashes of neon every time you moved.
like the entire room adjusted itself around your energy.
I tried not to stare too obviously.
Failed immediately. You noticed, of course, you always notice that playful smile appearing again, the one that makes every smart decision disappear from my body instantly.
You walked toward me slowly through the
Crowd, perfume, and expensive liquor following behind you.
the bass vibrating softly beneath marble floors.
People laughing too loudly around us, trying to convince themselves they were happier than they actually felt. And you leaned close and whispered,
You look lonely, even at your own party.
that sentence hit harder than it should have, because nobody understands loneliness better than people constantly surrounded by attention.
I laughed quietly while pouring another drink,
Pretending confidence, pretending emotional control, pretending your voice wasn't already ruining my composure.
You rested your hand against my chest briefly,
Long enough to make my heartbeat betray me.
short enough to leave me wanting more.
That's always been your talent.
Turning tiny gestures into emotional addictions.
Outside, rain covered soul in silver light. Luxury buildings glowing through fogged windows. Cars moving slowly through Hanelm like black rivers beneath the storm.
The whole city looks cinematic tonight.
Dangerously cinematic.
You pulled me toward the dance floor,
Eventually, despite my protest,
despite my fake indifference.
your fingers locked between mine confidently.
Like you already knew resistance was pointless.
The music shifted slower, dreamier,
Soft synths echoing through the room.
while blue lights moved across your face.
You danced close enough for me to smell champagne on your breath,
Close enough to feel warmth through fabric.
close enough to realize I was emotionally.
Doomed already.
You looked up at me carefully,
While moving with the rhythm, I softer than usual tonight.
less teasing,
More honest.
then quietly asked,
Why do you always act like feelings are embarrassing?
I wanted to answer casually,
But honesty becomes impossible to avoid after midnight.
especially around someone who sees through every defense immediately.
So instead I admitted the truth.
Because once people know how much they matter,
They can destroy you.
your expression changed slightly after that.
Like something inside you loosened unexpectedly.
The music around us blurred completely, the crowd disappearing into colored light and distant noise.
Suddenly, it felt like only we existed inside the room.
You rested your forehead briefly against mine,
Breathing slowly, eyes half closed, and honestly,
the tiny softness terrified me more than heartbreak ever had.
because heartbreak is familiar,
But intimacy,
real intimacy still feels dangerous.
you pulled away first.
Of course you did.
People like us
Always retreat once moments become too honest.
You left quietly afterward,
Trying to lighten the atmosphere,
saying I look too serious for someone.
holding a crystal champagne glass.
I smiled back.
But internally, I was already unraveling.
The rooftop doors open nearby.
Cold rains and air spilling into the room.
You grab our wrist immediately.
Come outside with me.
So we left the party behind together.
The rooftop overlooked the entire river.
Bridges glowing
All through the rain. Apartment towers stretching endlessly into darkness.
the skyline, reflecting across puddles.
Beneath our feet,
You stood near
the railing silently for a while. Hair moving softly in the wind. The city lights making your eyes look almost unreal.
then suddenly you asked.
Do you ever think we're too similar?
That question stayed between us heavily.
Because similarity isn't always romantic.
Sometimes it's dangerous,
Too emotionally avoidant people, both terrified of abandonment,
both addicted to intensity.
both mistaking chaos for passion.
People like us know how to attract each other beautifully.
But staying,
That's harder.
I looked out toward the river before answering.
I think we understand each other too well.
You smiled sadly after hearing that, like the truth hurt, but relief hurt less than uncertainty.
The rain started falling harder
Around us, tiny silver drops against your shoulders.
music drifting faintly upward from below.
The city breathing slowly beneath midnight clouds.
You step closer again, carefully.
Your hand sliding beneath my jacket.
Warm fingers against cold skin.
The distance disappearing naturally between us.
Then softly whispered,
You make me feel seen.
and honestly,
I don't know if that's comforting or terrifying,
my chest tightened immediately.
because I felt exactly the same.
You kissed me.
Be froze. Champagne clouds above the city tonight. Pink reflections dancing across the skyline. The penthouse windows glowing like tiny stars. And somehow your voice still sounded softer than all of it.
You walked in wearing silver.
Like moonlight stitched herself in the fabric.
Everybody turned to look at you, but you looked directly at me first.
Dangerous habit.
You smiled while taking my drink from my hand. Lipstick mark left against the glass afterward.
Like a signature.
Proof you knew exactly what you were doing to me.
The music was loud enough to hide honesty,
But not loud enough to stop
tension.
You lean close while speaking.
Perfume and champagne mixing in the air. Your earrings catching flashes of blue neon light. The entire room blurring slowly behind you.
You asked if I missed you lately,
I laughed quietly,
because some questions already carry their
own answer. Of course I missed you. I miss you in songs and taxis, in hotel elevators and convenience stores after midnight. In every moment the city becomes too quiet for distractions.
But saying that out loud
Felt too vulnerable,
so instead I smiled.
and asked if you missed me too.
You tilted your head slightly,
The playful expression appearing again, the one that always makes me emotionally reckless.
maybe a little, you whispered.
But you don't deserve full honesty yet.
That should have annoyed me.
Instead it made me want you more.
Problem with chemistry.
It turns emotional immaturity into poetry. Outside, rain started falling soft softly over so tiny, silver streaks against the glass walls.
The city glowing beneath the storm beautifully,
Like heartbreak wrapped in luxury packaging,
you grab my hand suddenly,
pulling me away from the crowd through long hotel hallways, past mirrors reflecting expensive loneliness back at us endlessly.
neither of us speaking properly.
Some attractions become too intense for ordinary conversation.
Inside the elevator,
The silence turned electric,
go lights above us,
your reflection standing beside mine.
my heartbeat embarrassing itself quietly beneath designer fabric and fake confidence.
You looked up at me carefully,
Eyes softer than earlier, less performance
more truth.
than asked.
Why do you always act cold when you care too much?
That question landed directly inside my chest, because loving someone visibly has always terrified me.
People leave eventually,
And the more honest you become, the more painful their absence feels afterward. So I learned distance instead.
late replies, detached humor, pretending emotional control equals strength. But
You always saw through it immediately.
the elevator stopped,
Neither of us
moved. You smiled slowly,
then reached up to fix the collar of my jacket gently.
fingers brushing against my neck for half a second too long.
That tiny softness nearly ruined my composure completely.
You always do that, turn simple gestures into emotional disasters.
The rooftop was nearly empty now.
Rain cooling the city below us,
Music drifting faintly upward from the party downstairs.
soul stretching endlessly into blue and silver light.
You stood beside the railing quietly,
Hair moving softly in the wind.
looking unreal against the skyline.
I think people misunderstand beauty sometimes.
The most beautiful thing about you was never your face.
It was how lonely you looked while pretending confidence.
You suddenly started laughing while looking at the city,
Saying the rich neighborhoods always look sadder at night.
honestly you were right.
Luxury just gives loneliness prettier lighting.
We shared another drink
Beneath the rain,
your lipstick
staining the rim again.
my jacket slowly soaking through.
The city air cold against our skin,
Then your expression shifted suddenly,
softer now.
almost nervous.
You asked if I ever think about what we could become if we stopped running from each other constantly.
I wanted to answer casually,
But midnight always weakens my defenses.
so instead I admitted the truth.
I think about it too much.
Silence followed immediately,
Not awkward,
the dangerous kind.
the kind where two people realize feelings became real without permission.
You stepped closer carefully,
Your hand sliding against mine again.
warm despite the rain, like your body confessed emotions before your mouth could.
Then softly whispered,
You make loneliness feel glamorous.
and somehow I hate you for that.
I laughed quietly after hearing it.
Mostly because it sounded exactly like us.
Beautiful, toxic, emotionally unfinished.
The city below kept glowing endlessly, cars crossing bridges, streetlights shimmering through rainwater.
People everywhere searching for temporary warmth.
Meanwhile we stood together beneath storm clouds and neon light, trying not to fall deeper into something neither of us knew how to survive properly.
You asked if I missed you lately. I laughed quietly,
We laughed quietly after hearing it.
mostly because it sounded exactly like us.
Beautiful and toxic, emotionally unfinished. The city below kept glowing endlessly, cars crossing bridges, streetlights shimmering through rainwater.
People everywhere searching for temporary warmth. Meanwhile, we stood together beneath storm clouds and neon light,
Trying not to fall deeper into something neither of us knew how to survive properly.
You asked if I missed you lately.
I laughed quietly,
because some questions already their own answer.
of course I missed you.
I miss you.
In songs and taxis and hotel elevators, in convenience stores after
together beneath storm clouds and neon light, trying not to fall deeper into something neat the others know how to survive properly. You asked if I knew. The skyline looked endless from the rooftop at dawn. Glass towers glowing beneath fading storm clouds. Music still echoing softly from inside the penthouse. Another night refusing to end gracefully. So breathe below us in silver and gold light. Bridges stretching across the river like electric veins. Black cars drifting through empty intersections. The whole city exhausted, but still beautiful somehow. You stood beside the edge wearing my jacket, hair moving softly in the cold morning wind, eyes heavy from sleepless nights and too many unfinished emotions. For once, neither of us tried pretending everything was okay. The silence felt different tonight, not flirtatious, not dangerous, honest. You looked toward the skyline quietly before speaking. I don't think any of this made us happy. The sand stays suspended between us, heavy as the storm clouds above the river. Because deep down we both already knew the parties, the penthouses, the attention, the expensive distractions, none of it ever fixed the loneliness. It just decorated it beautifully. The beat enters slowly beneath the rooftop wind. Dark synths, heavy bass, quiet sections echoing like ghosts through the skyline. I lower my head while the verse arrived naturally. Whole city glow, but the soul's still tired. Everybody chasing love through the amplifier. I done seen rich dreams die in designers, seen fake smiles out in real survivors. Penthouse views and emotional blackouts. Girls dancing while the thunder crashed loud. Everybody living for the night like stories till the morning come and expose the lonely in me. I spent years running in circles, using music and movement like emotional rituals, trying to outrun silence with applause, but every road still led back to loss. You listen quietly beside me, hands tucked inside the sleeves of my jacket. Rainwater still shining softly across the rooftop floor. Then you step closer, not dramatically, just enough for warmth to replace distance one last time. I think we confuse being desired with being loved. You whisper softly, my chest tightened instantly, because nobody had ever described us more accurately. Attention feels powerful until the room empties, until the music stops, until you realize nobody actually knows the exhausted version of you. The beat shifted suddenly, drums sharpened now, 808's heavier. The skyline behind us turning brighter as dawn slowly approached. Yeah, tell me why the peace feel foreign now. Why calm nights make damaged people drown? We romanticize chaos till it became religion, turned heartbreak into luxury living. I seen girls cry in the bathroom mirrors, seen rich boys hide pain behind appearances. Old generation chasing validation, still feeling empty at the celebration. And maybe that's a tragedy, everybody connected but emotionally absent, posting pretty moments for the algorithm while the real soul quietly collapsing. You looked at me carefully after that, eyes softer than I'd ever seen them. No games, no teasing, no emotional armor left. The city below us kept glowing endlessly. Morning trains beginning to move again. The skyline slowly changing from neon into daylight. You reached for my hand gently and honestly. The tiny gesture felt more intimate than every rooftop kiss before it. Because for the first time, it didn't feel temporary. The music softened again, ambient piano echoing through the rooftop air. The storm finally disappearing behind the buildings. I'm tired of running from myself, you admitted quietly. And I'm tired of pretending chaos feels romantic. That sentence hit me harder than any confession all year. Cause maybe we both finally reached the same exhaustion. The point where nightlife stops feeling glamorous, where attention stops feeling healing, where loneliness becomes impossible to aestheticize anymore. I look toward the sunrise, slowly climbing over circle light, spilling across the river beneath us. Then quietly admitted, I think I spent years trying to become someone impossible to abandon. But somewhere along the way,
I abandoned myself first.
Silence followed immediately. The honest kind, the kind that changes people permanently. You squeeze my hand softly after hearing that. Warm against the cold morning air. The skyline glowing brighter around us every second. No music from the party anymore. No strangers, no flashing lights, just dawn, rain-soaked rooftops, and two emotionally exhausted people finally standing still, long enough to tell the truth. The city below kept moving endlessly, but for one rare beautiful moment, neither of us felt the need to run with it anymore. Vinyl crackle floated through the jazz bar softly tonight. Low saxophone echoing beneath dim red lights. Rain sliding across Tokyo style. Neon signs outside the windows. The whole room smelling like whiskey, cigarettes, and expensive loneliness. I sat beside the piano watching strangers pretend not to stare. Black coat, silver watch, jet lag still trapped behind my eyes. 3 cities in 5 days, and somehow every skyline still looked emotionally familiar. Then you walked in. White headphones around your neck, long trench coat dripping rainwater onto the floor. Looking less like a person and more like a scene from an old film nobody fully understands anymore. You spotted me immediately, smiled slowly, then slid into the booth across from me like we'd already rehearsed this moment somewhere before. You always end up in places with sad music, you whispered softly. I laughed quietly. Maybe sad music understands me better. That made you tilt your head thoughtfully while the pianist switched melodies behind us outside. Shibuya color reflections mixed with soul rain memories inside my head. The city glowing blue and crimson through fog glass. Taxis moving slowly beneath electric signs. The entire night feeling cinematic in a tired, beautiful way. You order whiskey without looking at the menu. That confidence always fascinated me. Not loud confidence, the quieter kind. The kind emotionally exhausted people built to survive the world elegantly. The beats slid in softly beneath the atmosphere. Dusty drums, warm bass line. Rose keys floating like smoke through the room. I lean back into the booth while the verse arrived naturally. Different city, same emotional weather. Bright lights, but the inside don't get better. Passport full, but the soul still restless. Success look clean, but the thoughts get messy. I done had nights in Tokyo, high rises. Girls speak soft while the skyline shining. Everybody chasing art through the heartbreak, trying to turn loneliness into something timeless. Late flights, red eyes, luxury, insomnia. Whole world know the image, but nobody know the monster. Still writing verses in hotel room silence, trying to hear peace through the static and violence. You stared at me carefully after that, fingers wrapped around the whiskey glass. Like hearing honesty from me still felt unexpectedly intimate. You sound tired of yourself, you admitted softly. That sentence landed too accurately, because creative people eventually start confusing exhaustion with identity. Always searching, always moving, always romanticizing sadness, because stillness feels unfamiliar. The jazz bar grew quieter around us. Rain tapping softly against neon lit windows. The saxophone returning slowly beneath the drums. You lean closer across the table, perfume mixing with cigarette smoke and old records. I think we both use cities to avoid ourselves, you whispered. My chest tightened immediately, because she was right. So Tokyo, Los Angeles, New York, different skylines, same emotional patterns. Luxury hotels, temporary lovers, late night inspiration and loneliness waiting quietly after everyone leaves. The beat shifted smoother now. Boom bap drums melting into atmospheric scents. Maybe I'm addicted to movement, to airport lights and emotional confusion. The girls with tired eyes and beautiful damage, to turning heartbreak into another language. And maybe you the same too. Dance slow while the rainfall blew. Smile pretty but your soul still bruised. Still searching for something real in the music we consume. You laugh softly after hearing that. Not because it was funny, because it sounded true. The bartender lowered the light slightly. The piano melody softer now. The city outside glowing like a memory through the storm.
You rested your chin against your hand while looking at me carefully. Do you think artists ever become happy? Or just better at describing sadness? That question stayed between us heavily. I looked toward the rain-covered neon signs before answering, because honesty always arrives sharper after midnight jazz. I think we become addicted to turning pain into beauty, and somewhere along the way we stop trying to heal it. Silence follows softly, the comfortable kind, the kind shared by two people who already recognize each other's loneliness without explanation. Outside, Tokyo-colored reflections trembled across wet streets inside. The saxophone cried gently through the speakers, and somewhere between the jazz, the rain, and your tired smile, the world finally slowed down enough to feel honest.
Engine screaming underneath soul, midnight skies, red lights streaking across the river like laser beams. Black coupe flying through the expressway while rain explodes against the windshield. The old city moving too fast to feel honest. You stop beside me laughing while the tires drifted slightly through wet curves. 7 nails against the dashboard, leather boots on the seat, heart racing louder than the music shaking the car speakers. You drive like you're trying to escape yourself. You shouting over the bass, maybe I was. The skyline blurred in the neon chaos around us. Motorcycles weaving through traffic, underground races lying beneath overpasses. Luxury cars glowing beneath streetlights like predators hunting adrenaline. The night smelled like gasoline and expensive perfume, and honestly, it felt addictive. I pressed harder on the accelerator, engine roaring through the tunnel while synths exploded through the speakers. Your hair moving wildly through the open window. Both of us smiling like emotional stability was never part of the plan anyway. Then the beat switched, 808s distorted now. Hi-hat sharp like sirens, the whole atmosphere darker, more dangerous. Yeah. Yeah, city moving fast, but my thoughts faster. Gold chain swinging while the rain hit the asphalt. Everybody wanna live cinematic till the crash happened, till the blue lights flashing and the fame stopped mattering. I done spent nights in luxury chaos, girls in the backseat smelling like heartbreaking Mason. Whole squad drunk off adrenaline and validation. Still wake up healthy after every celebration. Tell me why success feels temporary, why every rooftop party and cemetery. Conversations die when the drugs wear off, and every fake friend disappear when the buzz gone. You leaned out the window laughing into the storm, neon reflections sliding across your skin. The entire city glowing violet beneath us. And suddenly you looked at me differently, not playful, not flirtatious, concerned. That look in your eyes scares me sometimes, you admit it softly. The car slowed briefly at a red light, rainwater steaming against the hood. Street racers lining up beside us impatiently. I smiled faintly, maybe it should. Green light. We launched forward violently, tires screaming against wet pavement, music shaking the seats, the skyline turning into pure motion and color. And honestly, for a few seconds, the loneliness disappeared completely. That's the dangerous thing about adrenaline. It convinces damaged people they're alive again. The beat dropped harder, dark sins staring through the baseline. Speeding through soul with a heart full of static. Pretty girl beside me, but the soul's still tragic. Everybody chasing highs till the body collapse, trying to outrun pain, but it always comes back. And I know you're type 2. Beautiful chaos and designer shoes, dance all night with emotional wounds. Still cry alone when the sunrise blooms. The expressway curve beside the hand river, rain turn in the skyline into liquid gold. Your hand suddenly grabbed mine across the center console. Warm against cold leather and reckless speed. That tiny gesture hit harder than the engine noise, because intimacy feels strange inside chaos, like softness surviving inside destruction somehow. The city lights reflected inside your eyes beautifully. The music lowering briefly while the storm softened around us. Speak quietly, almost hidden beneath the bass. You whispered, do you ever stop moving long enough to feel what's actually hurting you? That question landed like a car crash inside my chest, because maybe speed was never excitement, maybe it was escape. But from silence, from stillness, from the truth waiting in underneath all the glamour and motion. The tunnel opened toward the skyline again. Neon towers rising through the rain like futuristic ghosts. The whole city glowing red beneath storm clouds. I looked at you carefully while admit it. I think I'm terrified of who I become. When everything gets quiet, silence filled the car immediately. Only the rain, the engine, and you're breathing beside me. Then you squeeze my hand softly, looking out toward the skyline glowing ahead, and whispered, then maybe stop running alone. The penthouse speakers still echoed after the party ended tonight. Low bass vibrating through empty hallways. Champagne glasses abandoned beside city-facing windows. Another glamorous evening, dissolving quietly into loneliness. Outside, rain painted silver lines across, black taxis crossing bridges beneath neon clouds. Apartment towers glowing through the storm like distant memories. The whole city looking emotionally exhausted beneath expensive lighting. You stood near the kitchen island wearing dark velvet, jewelry catching flashes of gold from the skyline. Eyes heavy from sleepless nights and so many unspoken thoughts. You always look saddest after everyone leaves. You whispered softly, I smiled faintly.
That's because silence finally gets its turn.
That sentence stayed between us heavily.
Because noise became survival for people like us.
Music, crowds, parties, attention, anything loud enough to interrupt the truth temporarily. You walked toward me slowly, bare feet against marble floors, rain reflecting softly across your skin from the windows behind us. And honestly, you look more beautiful in exhaustion than most people do at their best. Beat shifted darker beneath the moment, 808's heavy now, since stretching through the room like emotional smoke. I leaned back against the counter while the verse arrived naturally, yeah. Everybody wanna shine till the glow, feel hollow till the lifestyle pretty, but the soul can't follow. Now the penthouse quiet and the night feel colder. Every year the pressure sit heavier on my shoulders. I done seen fake love wrapped in luxury fabric, seen rich people break while pretending they manage. Everybody posts happiness for validation, then cry alone when the cameras stop flashing. And me, I've been losing sleep lately. Whole city knew my face, but it don't save me. Still driving through Seoul with the rain falling, trying not to answer when the darkness calling. You stared at me carefully after that, like hearing honesty from me still felt unfamiliar somehow. That sounded like a confession, you whispered. I laughed quietly, maybe it was. The storm outside grew heavy and neon reflections trembling across the penthouse walls. Music echoing softly through empty rooms while the skyline blurred behind rain-covered glass. You stepped closer naturally, your fingers brushing slowly against my chain. Warm breath against my neck, the distance disappearing again without permission. I think we both hide sadness inside beautiful things, you admitted softly. My chest tightened immediately, because she was right. Designer clothes, luxury rooftops, cinematic nights, expensive liquor. Sometimes glamour is just loneliness with better styling. You rested your forehead briefly against mine, breathing slowly, like exhaustion finally defeated your defenses for the night. And honestly, that tiny softness nearly destroyed me, because intimacy feels louder after midnight, especially when you spend most of your life emotionally guarded. The beat returns sharper now, dark drums shaking softly beneath the skyline. Tell me why peace feel unfamiliar now. Why calm nights make emotionally damaged people drown? We know chaos better than affection, that's why every good thing comes with tension. And maybe I'm addicted to the pressure too, the rainy city nights and girls like you, the conversations that sound like therapy sessions, wrapped inside penthouses and bad decisions. The room stayed quiet afterward, only the rain and distant bass remaining. The city breathing slowly beneath storm clouds, morning still hidden somewhere far beyond the skyline. You looked up at me carefully, then eyes softer than I've seen in months. Do you think we keep hurting each other on purpose? You whispered. I stared toward the river before answering, because honesty around you always feels irreversible. No, I think we just don't know how to love without damage yet. Silence. silence followed immediately. Soft, painful, beautiful. The rain continued falling over so endlessly. Gold reflections trembling through puddles below. The penthouse glowing dim beneath the storm. And for one rare, honest moment, neither of us tried, pretending we weren't emotionally exhausted anymore. Rain covered the rooftop like static tonight. Tiny silver drops sliding across black marble floors. Music drifting softly through glass doors behind us. Another after party slowly collapsing into emotional silence. So glow beneath the storm beautifully. Blue neon reflections stretching across wet streets. Luxury towers rising above the river like lonely monuments. The whole city looking rich enough to hide heartbreak temporarily. You stood near the edge wearing a long black raincoat, hair damp from the weather, gold jewelry glowing beneath rooftop lights, looking like someone carrying sadness elegantly on purpose. I walked beside you quietly, whiskey still burning in my chest, exhaustion hidden beneath expensive fabric and fake calmness. You look tired tonight, you whispered softly. I laughed under my breath. Tired became part of my personality that made you smile sadly, like you understood exactly what I meant. People like us survive on momentum, parties, attention, movement, noise, anything loud enough to stop loneliness from becoming audible. The rain hit harder around us, music fading lower inside the penthouse, the skyline blurring beautifully beneath dark clouds. You leaned against the railing slowly, watching headlights cross the hair river below us. I think I forgot what peace feels like, you admitted quietly. That sentence landed directly inside me, because peace feels unfamiliar once emotional chaos becomes routine. The beat shifted darker beneath the rain, 808's heavy now, since stretching wide through the rooftop air. The city outside sounding cinematic and emotionally haunted. I lowered my voice while the verse arrived naturally. Yeah. Everybody wanna glow till the light burn different, till success make your real friends feel distant. Now the penthouse full, but the soul still missing. Conversations sound fake when the champagne hitting out and seeing girls cry in designer makeup, seeing rich boys flex while their confidence break up. Everybody chasing heaven through nightlife, still wake up lonely when it hit daylight. And me, I'm somewhere in between, too famous for normal, too broken for peace. Still driving through Seoul with the windows down, trying to let the rain wash the pressure out of me. You looked toward me carefully after that, eyes softer than before, like hearing honesty still surprise you somehow. You only tell the truth when it's raining, you whispered, I smile faintly. Maybe storms make people less afraid. The rooftops stayed quiet around us, rainwater reflecting gold light beneath our feet. The skyline breathing slowly through the storm. Then suddenly you step closer, your hand sliding into mine naturally. Warm fingers against cold skin, and honestly, that tiny gesture affected me more than any applause ever has. Because intimacy feels rare once your life becomes performance constantly. You rested your forehead briefly against my shoulder, breathing slower now, like the night finally exhausted your defenses completely. I hate how safe you feel sometimes, you admitted softly, my chest tightened instantly. Because safety sounds romantic until emotionally damaged people experience it, and suddenly it becomes terrifying. The beat returned heavier now, dark drums echoing beneath the skyline. Yeah, we both got habits we disguise as lifestyle, turning heartbreak into aesthetics for the nighttime, posting pretty pictures while the soul aches, smiling for the cameras with a slow break. And maybe we addicted to the sadness too, to rainy rooftop talks in the city view, the temporary love that feel permanent till the morning come and reality ruin it. The storm outside slowly softened, rain becoming quieter against the rooftop glass. The penthouse behind us almost empty now, only distant music and fading conversations remaining. You looked up at me carefully, then eyes reflecting blue neon beautifully. Do you think we would have survived each other in another life? You whispered. I stared toward the skyline before answering, because honesty after midnight always feels irreversible. I think we would have found each other anyway, and probably made the same mistakes. You laughed softly after hearing that, not because it was funny, because it sounded true. The city beneath us kept glowing endlessly. Black cars crossing silver streets, apartment windows shining through the rain. People everywhere searching for something to save them from themselves. Meanwhile, we stood above all of it, holding on to each other quietly beneath storm clouds and neon light. And for one dangerous moment, the loneliness finally felt shared instead of separate. Church bells echoed faintly through the rain tonight. Somewhere beyond the skyline, beyond the rooftop music, beyond the endless noise of soul after midnight. The penthouse windows glow like stained glass above the city. Gold reflections trembling across wet marble floors. Beautiful strangers moving through smoke and flashing lights, trying to dance away loneliness before the sunrise arrived. You stood alone near the balcony wearing all white, silver chain resting against your collarbone, looking less like a party guest and more like a prayer nobody answered properly. I walked toward you slowly, whiskey burning softly in my chest, the skyline glowing behind your silhouette like a movie scene trying too hard to feel honest. You always disappear into the view, you whisper softly, I smile faintly. Maybe the city understands me better than people do. That made you laugh quietly, but sadness still stayed inside your eyes. Outside. Rain-covered Hannum and silver reflections, black cars crossing bridges beneath neon clouds, apartment towers glowing through the storm. The whole city looking holy and emotionally ruined at the same time. You lean beside me against the railing, cold wind moving through your hair, music echoing faintly behind us while the rooftop slowly empty. I'm tired, you admit it suddenly, not physically, just tired of performing. That sentence stayed inside me immediately, because people like us spend years becoming versions of ourselves the world prefers. More beautiful, more confident, more emotionally controlled, until one day you realize nobody actually knows the quiet version anymore. The beat shifted darker beneath the rain, 808 shaking softly against rooftop glass, and stretching wide like emotional static over the skyline. I lower my head while the verse arrived naturally. Everybody chasing halos and designer clothes, trying to look healed while the damage showed. Whole city glow but the soul still dark. Luxury apartments full of broken hearts. I done seen rich kids crying valet lines, seen fake love disappear when the check declined. Everybody wanna touch heaven for the aesthetic, till the loneliness inside turned prophetic. And I know that feeling too well lately. Success made the world loud but it ain't saved me. Still driving through Seoul with my mind racing, still looking for peace and girls and playlists. You look down at your hands after hearing that, like my words exposed something you tried hiding carefully. The rain started falling hard around us, tiny silver drops against your shoulders, the skyline blurring beautifully beneath the storm. Then softly, almost too quietly to hear, I think we both became addicted to beautiful distractions. My chest tightened immediately, because she was right. Nightlife, attention, temporary romance, luxury hotels, music loud enough to interrupt silence. People like us build entire lifestyles around avoiding emotional stillness. You step closer naturally, your forehead resting briefly against my chest, breathing slowly, like exhaustion finally defeated your defenses tonight. And honestly, that tiny softness nearly ruined me completely, because intimacy feels louder after midnight, especially in cities built on performance. The beat returned heavier now, dark drums echoing beneath the skyline. Yeah, tell me why the calm feel unfamiliar, why peace make emotion emotionally damaged people shiver. We know chaos better than affection. That's why every good thing turned complicated in our direction. And maybe that's the curse right there, turning heartbreak into nightlife everywhere. Kissing under rain while the skyline glowing, still acting surprised when the emptiness growing. You looked up at me carefully afterward, eyes softer now, no games left inside them. Do you think we're bad for each other? You whispered. I stared toward the storm over the river before answering, because honesty always feels dangerous around you. I think we understand each other too deeply to stay untouched. Silence followed immediately, the kind that feels sacred instead of awkward. The rooftop behind us faded quieter, music lower and guests disappearing in the elevators and black cars. The party slowly dying beneath dawn-colored clouds, but neither of us moved. The rain kept falling over so endlessly. Gold reflections trembling through puddles, the city breathing slowly beneath the storm. And for one rare moment, we stopped pretending. The loneliness wasn't the thing bringing us back together every time. Gold light spilled across the penthouse floor tonight. Half-empty bottles reflecting against marble counters. Music drifting through dim hallways like smoke. Another glamorous evening slowly collapsing into loneliness outside. So shimmer beneath midnight rain, luxury towers glowing above dark rivers. Black sedans moving silently through Hannum, the whole city looking beautiful enough to hide emotional damage. You stood near the window wearing black satin, phone screen glowing against your hand, looking tired in a dangerous, elegant way only heartbreak creates properly. I walked toward you slowly, whiskey still burning in my chest, exhaustion hidden beneath confidence and expensive fabric. You disappeared again, you whispered softly, I smiled faintly. You noticed? You always leave when people start getting honest. That sentence stayed inside me immediately, because honesty feels heavier after midnight, especially around someone who already knows your worst habits. You step closer naturally, perfume mixing with rain carried in from the balcony. The skyline reflecting softly across your skin. For a second, neither of us spoke. The silence already said enough. The beat shifted darker beneath the moment, 808's heavy now, since stretching wide through rooftop air. The city outside sounding emotionally haunted. I lean back against the glass while the verse arrives slowly, yeah. Everybody chasing stars till the sky feel empty, till success don't taste like it did at 20. Now the penthouse quiet when the crowd leave, and every mirror in the room start judging me. Whole city know my songs word for word now. I still drive alone through the rain when the world out. Money made my life look cinematic, but the loneliness inside still automatic. I done seen love disappear in hotel suites, seen rich souls cry over luxury beats. Everybody want the lifestyle from a distance, till they realize fame just amplify the sickness. You look down after hearing that, fingers tracing circles against your champagne glass, like my words pulled memories out of places you kept hidden carefully. I think we both romanticize damage too much, you admit it quietly. The sentence hurt because it sounded true. People like us mistake emotional chaos for chemistry. We survive through intensity, not peace. Late night parties, temporary lovers, rooftop confessions under rain covered skyline. Is anything dramatic enough to distract us from ourselves? The storm outside grew heavier, neon reflections trembling against the windows. Music echoing softly through the penthouse while strangers dance somewhere behind us. You suddenly rested your head against my chest, like your body surrendered before your thoughts could stop it. And honestly, that tiny softness affected me more than attention ever has, because intimacy feels terrifying once your life becomes performance constantly. You whispered softly against my jacket, I don't think anyone understands me when the night ends. My chest tightened instantly, because I understood exactly what you meant. The glamorous version of you survives parties beautifully, but the quiet version, the exhausted version, the lonely version, staring at ceilings at 4 a.m. Almost nobody gets to meet her. The beat returns sharper now, dark drums echoing beneath the skyline, yeah. I know you're tight, smile bright but they're so tired. Dance slow while your thoughts getting darker. Tell me don't stay too long, then hold me tighter every time I walk farther. Or maybe I'm addicted to pretty girls with emotional wounds, to conversations that feel like confession booths, to rain falling over cities we can't escape through. The room behind us slowly empty, people disappearing into elevators and black cars, the party dying quietly beneath early morning clouds. Still neither of us moved, like leaving would force reality back into focus again. You looked up at me carefully then, eyes softer than I'd seen in months. Do you think we're healing each other? You whispered. We're just making the loneliness prettier. I stared toward the skyline before answering, because honesty around you always feels irreversible. I think we're doing both. Silence followed immediately, soft, heavy, beautiful. The rain kept falling over so endlessly. The city glowing gold beneath the storm, music fading softer behind us, while dawn waited somewhere far beyond the skyline. And for one dangerous moment, the loneliness almost felt holy. Sirens echo softly through Hannon tonight. Distant police lights reflecting across wet pavement. The city's still awake beneath heavy clouds, luxury towers glowing above streets full of exhausted people pretending they're fine. I stood alone on the balcony outside the penthouse, whiskey glass cold against my hand, music shaking faintly through the walls behind me. Another after party full of strangers performing confidence beautifully. Then the balcony door opened, and there you were again. Black leather jacket, silver hoops, lipstick faded slightly from the night already. Looking at me like you knew loneliness personally. You stepped beside me quietly, close enough for warmth to interrupt my thoughts, close enough for old feelings to start breathing again. You always disappear when the room gets too loud. You whisper softly, I smiled faintly. Maybe silence feels more honest. That made you look toward the skyline thoughtfully. Rain falling lightly across the river below us, the whole city glowing blue and gold beneath the storm for a while. Neither of us spoke. Some connections don't need conversation immediately, just presence, just breathing beside someone who understands exhaustion correctly. You leaned against the railing slowly, eyes following black cars moving through the streets beneath us. I think I'm getting tired of all this, you admitted quietly. The party's the attention to pretending. Your voice sounded softer than usual tonight, less guarded, more human, and honestly that scared me more than your confidence ever did. The beat shifted darker beneath the silence, 808's heavier now, since stretching through rooftop air like emotional static. I looked toward the skyline while the verse arrived naturally, yeah. Everybody loved the image till the lights fade, till the penthouse quiet and the night strange, till your phone full but nobody feel close enough. Just temporary love wrapped in gold touch. I seen rich souls die in designer fabric, seen girls cry pretty while they post captions. Everybody chasing validation in the fast lane, still wake up empty when the cash came. Truth is, success only amplified the damage. You can hide pain better, but you can't manage. In every city lights start looking artificial when your happiness become conditional. You looked at me carefully after that, like hearing honesty still surprised you somehow. That sounded too personal, you whispered. I laughed quietly. That's because it is. The rain started falling harder around us, tiny silver drops against your jacket, music echoing faintly behind the balcony doors, the skyline blurring beautifully through the storm. You suddenly stepped closer, your fingers brushing softly against my rings. Eyes lower now, voice quieter. I think we use each other to avoid ourselves. The sentence landed directly inside my chest, because maybe that was true. late night drives, hotel rooms, rooftop confessions, kisses disguised as emotional escape routes. People like us don't fall in love cleanly. We crash into each other repeatedly, trying to turn loneliness into chemistry. You rested your forehead briefly against my shoulder, breathing slowly like the night finally exhausted your defenses. And honestly, that tiny softness almost ruined me completely, because vulnerability feels louder after midnight. The beat returned heavier again, dark drums shaking softly beneath the skyline. Yeah, I know you're type, beautiful with abandonment issues. Dance slow while your eyes hide distance. Tell me don't fall too hard, then kiss like you already know resistance. Finish, and maybe I'm no better. Still romanticize pain in good weather. Still turn heartbreak into aesthetic. Still chase chaos when the peace feel unfamiliar. The city beneath us kept glowing endlessly. Rainwater reflecting neon signs through empty streets. Whole world looking cinematic enough to forgive emotional mistakes. You looked up at me carefully then, eyes softer than I'd seen in months. Do you think we would have been happier as strangers? You whispered. I stared at the storm over the river before answering, because honesty always feels irreversible around you. Maybe, but strangers never would have understood us like this. Silence followed immediately, not awkward, just painfully true. The sirens echoed again somewhere below the skyline. Music fading softer inside the penthouse. The rain cooling the entire city beneath dawn-colored clouds. And for one dangerous moment, neither of us tried pretending we weren't emotionally addicted to each other anymore. Black SUV waiting downstairs again tonight. Rain covering the windows and silver streaks. The driver never asked questions anymore. Probably seen too many people like us already. The city looked cold through tinted glass. Gangland glowing blue beneath midnight storms. Luxury stores asleep behind polished windows. The whole world expensive and emotionally empty. You sat beside me quietly, scrolling through messages you didn't want to answer. Lip gloss shining beneath dashboard lights, looking beautiful in that tired, dangerous way. Only heartbreak creates properly. The music inside the car stay low. Soft synths, heavy bass, voices echoing like memories through the speakers. And somehow everything already felt nostalgic while it was happening. You asked where we were going, I smiled faintly. Nowhere important that made you laugh softly. Then why does every night with you feel cinematic? Because loneliness always looks beautiful in luxury lighting. But I didn't say that part out loud. Rain hit harder against the glass. Street lights sliding across your face and gold flashes. The whole city moving slowly around us like a dream refusing to end. You leaned your head against the seat, eyes half closed, jewelry catching reflections from passing traffic. I'm getting tired of pretending parties still excite me. You admit it quietly, that sentence stayed inside my chest immediately. Because nightlife becomes exhausting once you realize nobody there actually feels connected. Just music, drinks, egos, temporary affection disguised as intimacy. The beat shifted darker, 808's heavier now, drums sharper. The city outside sounding dangerous again. I looked out the window while the verse arrived naturally. Yeah, whole squad dressed black like the funeral came early. Everybody smiling but the energy blurry. Penthouse conversations getting way too surface. Which kids acting fearless while they all feel nervous. I done seen love disappear inside the fast life. Girls crying designer while the flashlights. Everybody posting moments for the online, then go home lonely when it hit nighttime. Damn, the silence after successful different. When your phone full but nobody feel consistent. Money by the view but can't repair distance. So I drive the soul, trying not to feel missing. You looked at me carefully afterward, like hearing honesty from me still surprised you somehow. That's the saddest thing you've ever said casually, you whispered. I laughed quietly. That's because sadness sounds normal now. The SUV crossed the hand river slowly. Rain turning the skyline into silver watercolor light. Apartment towers glowing softly above the darkness, the city breathing beneath us endlessly. You reach for my hand naturally this time, no hesitation. Warm fingers against cold skin, and honestly, that tiny gesture affected me more than attention ever could. Because intimacy feels rare once your life becomes performance constantly. You rested your head briefly against my shoulder, breathing slower now. The exhaustion finally visible beneath your confidence, then softly admitted, I think I only feel calm when the world gets quiet enough to hear you. My chest tightened immediately. People like us survive through noise, music, crowds, movement, distractions. So when someone finally makes silence feel safe, that becomes dangerous. The beat returned heavier again, dark sands filling the car while rain blurred the skyline outside. Tell me what success mean when you're so tired. Whole city know your name, but the glow expired. Everybody want the image, not the real pain. So we hide heartbreak underneath expensive champagne. And I know you're tired, beautiful, but emotionally distant. Kiss slow while your eyes stay resistant. Still somehow your loneliness feel familiar. That's why every goodbye never feel permanent. The car stopped briefly at a red light. Neon signs reflecting across your skin beautifully. The storm outside, swallowing the streets in silver haze. You looked at me carefully, then less playful now, more vulnerable. Do you think we're bad for each other? You whispered. I stared toward the skyline before answering, because honesty after midnight always feels irreversible. Probably, but I think we're worse apart. Silence followed immediately, the dangerous kind. The kind where two people realize the toxicity isn't the attraction, it's the understanding. The city outside kept glowing endlessly. Rain falling softer now, music echoing through leather seats, while morning slowly approached somewhere beyond the skyline. And for one quiet moment inside that black SUV, we stopped pretending loneliness wasn't the thing keeping us connected.